Fires it short, and the red hot.
Emilio Bonifacio on a 20-game hitting streak is at third. Morrison, Peterson, Stanton left to right in the outfield. And the battery, Chris Volstad pitching to John Buck. And a grand slam in this building on opening night against Mike Pelfrey. So now Turner batting at .267 with 2 homers, 37 RBIs. Takes the first pitch, fastball right down the middle at 92 for a called strike one. Turner 12 out of his last 36. That thumb which was bothering him last month feeling much better. And the 0-1, a sinker swung on and missed. No balls and 2 strikes to Turner. Mets are wearing the alternate road blacks tonight with the Marlins in their traditional home whites, which will have a remodeled look next year. The 0-2 on the way. Fastball line to right field. Coming on Stanton. He can't get it. Plays it on a hop. And on an 0-2 pitch, Justin Turner shoots a single into right field. So he's aboard with the first hit of the ball game, and it'll bring up Carlos Beltran. Marlins will be re-imaged next year when they move into their new retractable roof ballpark at the site of the old Orange Bowl in an area of Miami called Little Havana. And they will change their name to the Miami Marlins. Now Carlos Beltran, and who knows what the prefix will be on his team name. The first pitch on the way to Carlos, low inside, a fastball, 1 ball and no strikes. Boy, there are scouts galore in this ballpark tonight. Former Met Jim Fregosi, who scouts for the Atlanta Braves, leads a whole barrage of teams that are represented here. As Volstad throws to first, and Turner dives back in. And obviously, this is the guy they're looking at, Carlos Beltran. And so similarly, the Mets have dispatched so many of their scouts and front office personnel to various posts around mostly the minor leagues to look at the better prospects for any of the teams that might be doing a deal for Beltran. The 1-0 on the way. A fastball low. Pops out of the mid of the catcher, Buck. No advance by the runner Turner at first, and the count 2-0. Carlos has been on base 27 straight games. He's put together quite the dossier for teams that are looking at him as a potential difference maker down the stretch. But of course, right now he's just a rental. The 2-0, fastball low, 3-0. And therein lies the rub. What can the Mets expect to get for a player who will be committed to the acquiring team for no more than 2 months? Mets think that under the circumstances, they should be able to get a top-flight prospect. Here's the 3-0 to Beltran, and he takes the fastball for a called strike one.
Well, I know the Giants are loaded. That's one franchise that has a lot of young players in their minor league system that the Mets certainly can look at.
One guy I saw mentioned today was the Giants' first-round pick last year, a kid named Gary Brown, a center fielder. Here's the 3-1 to Beltran, and it's low, ball 4. Volstad missed with a fastball and stares in at the home plate up Mike Everett. He wanted the call, didn't get it, and now here comes David Wright. And if you're wondering how many Met fans there are in this building, take a listen. David has not played at Major League level since the 15th of May. He missed 58 games and said before the game today this is like his second opening day. David hitting at .226 with 6 home runs and 18 runs batted in. No score. Mets with a threat going now. Turner at second, Beltran at first, 1 out. First pitch, and a fastball missed low and away, 1-0. The Marlins worked David to the opposite field in the outfield, and that's exactly how most teams defend against David. The infield set back at double play depth. Now Volstad sets at the belt. The 1-0 pitch and a fastball line to right field. That's a base hit. It's headed towards the warning track. Here comes Turner around third to score. Stanton plays it into the cutoff man. Beltran to third, and Wright is at second with a 1-out RBI double. And the Mets have a 1-0 lead as David Wright, with a vintage line drive the other way, comes through at his first at-bat since returning to the ball club.
Well, if this was his second opening night, it's a lot better than that first one. He had struck out against Josh Johnson. He is going to savor that RBI double. Nice to have his bat back in the lineup.
That is the David Wright that the Mets have gotten so used to since 2004, taking that ball with authority the other way. And so the Mets not only get the first run, they've got 2 more in scoring position with 1 out, and Daniel Murphy, a left-hand batter, up. Marlins play the infield back. And Volstad's first pitch, a fastball inside 1-0. So runners safe and secure in scoring position. Give your family the gift of a safe and secure financial future from New York Life Insurance Company. New York Life is safe and secure, so you can be too. The 1-0 to Murphy. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Slider by Volstad. It's 1-1.
This is an important inning for the Mets to tack on a few more runs and have a big inning because, let's face it, the Padres walked in here, the worst hitting team in the National League, and destroyed them, as you noted, with those runs. The Marlins never had a lead in any inning.
1-1 pitch, line to right field, base hit for Murphy. Beltran scores, right to third. Stanton fires into the cutoff man, Gabby Sanchez. It's an RBI single for Daniel Murphy, and the Mets have a 2-0 lead. Runners at the corners, 1 out in the first inning, and here comes Randy St. Clair out to the mound. The Marlins pitching coach will only be a little bit nicer to Volstad than Jack McKeon was last week in Chicago.
Yeah, Jack's an interesting guy, and you might remember this, Howie. Armando Benitez was a member of the 2004 Florida Marlins. He had been with the Mets, of course, but with the Marlins, there was one night where he was not going to be used. Jack McKeon was the manager. It was the year after they won the World Championship. And the bases got loaded against the Florida Marlins. And Jack McKeon says, I'm not using Benitez. Benitez started warming up in the bullpen on his own. The count got to 3-0 on the batter, and Jack McKeon walked out to the mound and said, come on, Benitez, you want to get out of this? And he got out of it without giving up a run. So anything's possible with Jack McKeon. Anything.
Must have been a different Armando Benitez than the one we saw. Anyway, here's Angel Pagan, 1 out, runners at the corners. First pitch, curveball, inside 1-0. Pagan, 5 for his last 43. The average now down to 237 with 4 homers, 32 RBIs. Switch hitter batting left. Again, the infield at double play depth. Right is at third. Murphy at first. Sanchez holding. Volstad's 1-0. Fastball low out of the glove of Buck. Rolls to his left, picks it up, and no advance by the base runners. So 2-0 to Pagan with Lucas Duda on deck. I wonder how long Jack McKeon will wait if Volstad doesn't figure this out quickly to get the bullpen up, because pitchers look at that. You know, they see somebody warming up first, second inning, they go, uh-oh, you know. If ever there's the need to bear down, not that they need that to remind them. It's just one extra little nudge. Here's the 2-0. Fastball outside and high, ball 3. Control is not generally an issue with Volstad. He walked 31 and 106 into third innings coming into this game. The gopher ball is, as Wayne mentioned at the top of the show, both Volstad and Pelfrey have allowed 16 homers, 7th most in the league. So here's the 3-0, and Pagan swings and hits one in the air to center field. Going back, Peterson on the run in front of the track. He makes the catch. Tagging at third and coming home is Wright. Headed back to first is Murphy. It's a sacrifice fly and a long one for Angel Pagan, and the Mets have a 3-0 lead. Good job by Angel. He hit that ball just about 400 feet.
You get a game-winning walk-off home run, I guess you can get the green light every now and then.
Well, you just figure right now, the Mets having some success here against Volstad and needing to throw a strike there. Why not?
I can't remember the last time, or if there has been a time that I've seen Pagan swing on a 3-0. I can't remember.
Well, it delivered a run. Now Murphy at first with 2 out, and here's Lucas Duda batting .265, but still looking for a home run. And Volstad steps off. So 3 runs in on 3 hits here at the top of the first inning for New York. Terry Collins was saying before the game, with Jason Bay probably ready to play, if not tomorrow, then Sunday, that he's still going to be able to find some at-bats for Lucas Duda. First pitch to him, fastball high, 1-0. I asked whether or not, if the struggles of Jason Bay continue, whether Duda might end up taking some at-bats from Bay and staying in the lineup that way, because that's where he's playing tonight, left field. One thing Terry did was answer firmly, no. Jason Bay is going to be an everyday player when he's back. Here's the 1-0. Fastball hit hard on the ground, right side, base hit. Underneath the diving second baseman Infante. Murphy to second and stops there. And Lucas Duda's aboard with a 2-out single. And so the Mets will bring their 8th man to the plate here in the first inning with 3 runs in. It's going to be Ronnie Paulino.
Well, even though he isn't hitting the home run ball at all for Lucas Duda, he has done what he did last year. Got off to a slow start, and over the last 23 games hitting .338, and that average just went up a bit more with that base hit. He's hitting the ball harder.
Now, if the power follows, the Mets will have something. Here's Duda. Here's Paulino, takes a breaking ball for a called strike, 0-1. And by the way, to make room on the roster for David Wright, Nick Evans was designated for assignment for the 3rd time this year. Now the 0-1 slider outside, 1-1 to Paulino. I believe that ties Nelson Figueroa's club record for DFAs in a year. If that sounds facetious, it's not meant to be. It's the truth. 1-1 to Paulino, the pitch, and a fastball outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. So Volstad continues to struggle here. He's thrown 24 pitches so far, more than half of which, 13, have been outside the strike zone. 2-1 the count. Now the pitch. Curveball fouled off the catcher, mask of John Buck. And the count 2-2 now on Paulino. Volstad, unlike Mike Pelfrey, was drafted out of high school. Pelfrey drafted out of college in 2005. He was at Wichita State. And that same year, Volstad was drafted out of high school right around here. He's from Palm Beach Gardens. 2-2 pitch. Curveball popped up foul outside first, coming back into the seats and out of play. Mets hit 2 homers yesterday, so Hyundai and their dealers donated another $200 to the Hope and Heroes Children's Cancer Fund, benefiting the New York Presbyterian Morgan Stanley Children's Hospital and Columbia University Medical Center. Hyundai's total contribution now $6,300. That's actually 2 nights ago when they hit the 2 home runs. So 2-2 to Paulino. The pitch and a check swing and a slider away. He holds the swing and the count is full. And that means that the runners, Murphy from second and Duda from first, will have automatic starts. 3 runs are in, and Paulino trying to add to the total with 2 out of the first. Volstad sets the runners go. The pitch, breaking ball hit on the ground to second. Infati's got it and throws to first in time. Side retired. But the Mets send 8 men to the plate. They score 3 runs on 4 hits. No errors. 2 men left. Middle of the first. Mets 3. Marlins coming up on the WFAN Mets Radio Network. Mets baseball is brought to you by Dodge and your local Dodge dealer. Fall in love with driving again. Go to Dodge.com to see their latest offers on the 2011 lineup. They are Dodge and they are never neutral. Well, Mike Pelfrey can tuck 3 runs into his pocket before he throws a pitch. He gets set to make his 21st start of the year with a 5-9 record and a 4.67 ERA. Now, remember a couple of things. He was the opening night pitcher in this ballpark and lost. And against the Florida Marlins, that is primarily what he has done. Lost. After he won his major league debut against the Marlins at Shea Stadium back in 2006, they only gave him 17 runs. He won 17-3. He is 1-7 with a 5.24 earned run average against them lifetime. And he's got a red-hot hitter to start off against, Emilio Bonifacio, a switch hitter batting left-handed. And the first pitch on the way, fastball for a called strike, 0-1. Bonifacio is on a 20-game hitting streak, batting at .290 with a homer and 15 RBIs. And the 0-1 breaking ball lined to right. That's going to fall in front of Beltran, a base hit. Well, Bonifacio extends his hitting streak to 21 with a leadoff single here at the bottom of the first inning. And he is an immediate threat to run. He has been just as hot on the base paths lately as he's been in the batter's box, stealing 14 out of his last 15 attempts.
And the reason being is that he had the green light when Edwin Rodriguez was the manager here, but he never took advantage of it. He only had 5 steals at that point. So when Jack McKeon took over here, he says, I'll tell you when to go. And it's been a lot.
Well, now Omar Infante, the batter. The runner goes. Paulino's throw to second goes off of the runner Bonifacio, backed up in shallow center field by Reyes. And instantly, Bonifacio steals the base. So that's now 20 steals for Emilio Bonifacio, who is 7th in the National League. Pitch was taken for a strike, but the throw by Paulino was anything but. So instantly a runner in scoring position for Florida. And the count to Infante 0-1. He's batting at .256 with a homer and 29 RBIs. Taking over second base for Dan Uggla as they were part of a deal for each other. Outfield shallow and around towards right, and a fastball foul down the right field line out of play. It's 0-2. Defensively, the Mets have Murphy at first, Turner at second, Reyes at short, right at third, Duda, Pagan, Beltran, left to right in the outfield. The battery brought to you by Interstate Batteries, outrageously dependable. Visit interstatebatteries.com to find a dealer near you. Pelfrey pitching, Paulino catching. Pelfrey sets. Now the 0-2 pitch. Line in the air to right field, pretty deep, slicing into foul ground and out of play right at the back of the Marlins bullpen area. So it's still 0-2 to Omar Infante. This is the 100th game the Marlins have played this year, one more than the Mets, and Infante has been in every one of them. He's a question mark for next year, only signed through the end of this one. 0-2 the count. Pelfrey looks to second, now the pitch. And it's hit high in the air to center field, sending Pagan drifting back. He's under it. Bonifacio tags. Pagan makes the catch. Bonifacio can walk to third as Pagan's throw comes into Reyes. It's a long fly out by Infante. And that moves Bonifacio to third base with one out. And we'll bring up Logan Morrison, a left-hand hitter. Maximize your family outing at Citi Field with Pepsi Max Mets Days. Includes 4 Mets tickets, 4 Pepsi fountain sodas, and a coupon for a 2-liter of Pepsi Max. Visit Mets.com for Pepsi Max Mets Days tickets. Offer is good for select home games at Citi Field. The packages start at $40. Get to Mets.com now for your tickets. So here's Morrison, the infield back conceding a run. First pitch, and a fastball for a called strike. 0-1. Morrison just 1 for his last 13. He has shown signs of becoming a pretty good hitter, but he's hit just .232 over the last few weeks, covering 20 games. Play him to pull in the outfield, the left-hand batter, and the 0-1. Missed inside and low. A fastball, 1 ball, and 1 strike. One thing that's been disappointing in particular about Mike Pelfrey over the last little stretch is that he has not been able to give the Mets the kind of length that they would expect from him, particularly midway through the season. 1-1 on the way. Curveball hit on the ground to the right side. A run will score. Big hop for the first baseman. Murphy races to the bag in time ahead of Morrison for the out. However, Bonifacio scores from third. 2 men out, and the Mets lead is now 3-1. And so for Morrison, his 50th RBI of the year. The reason I qualify the comment about Pelfrey having to do with the time of the year is some pitchers are naturally slow starters. Takes them a little while to kind of reach their real stride. But for Pelfrey, mid-season, nobody's pitched enough yet to be really tired. And everybody has long since been stretched out and really able to, you would think, give them solid numbers of innings. But Pelfrey, 6 innings or less over his last 5 starts. That's just not enough. And now Hanley Ramirez, the batter, with the bases empty. One of the things Jack McKeon did when he took over was put this guy in the cleanup spot. First pitch in for a called strike, a fastball, 0-1. And frankly, it's really agreed with Ramirez, who's hit .351 in 26 games since becoming the 4th place hitter. 3-1 Mets, 2 out, nobody on. Last of the first, the 0-1 to the right-hand hitter. Fastball low outside, 1-1. Mentioned Mike Everett calling the balls and strikes. Chris Guccione, the umpire at first. Mike Malinsky is at second, and the crew chief Mike Winters is the umpire at third. Outfield straightaway against the right-hand batter. 1-1 pitch. Curveball hit hard on the ground toward short. Backhanded by Reyes in the hole. Long throw to first and plenty of time to get Ramirez. Side retired. Marlins score 1 run on 1 hit. No errors, nobody left. And at the end of 1, the Mets 3, the Marlins 1 on the WFAN Mets Radio Network. Mets baseball is brought to you by RE/MAX of New York. In today's challenging economy, you need to work with the best when it comes to buying and selling real estate. Nobody in the world sells more real estate than RE/MAX. Visit REMAX.com today or foreclosure and short sale experts. 3-1 Mets. Pelfrey leads off the second, takes a fastball inside for ball one. Mike, one hit this year. Drove in a couple of runs in Denver. It was a double. And the 1-0 taken low outside, a fastball, 2-0.
So easy to remember his one hit to right center in the gap. Well, can't remember a second one, that's for sure.
Well, the statistics bear you out. 2-0, fastball low, 3-0. So Volstad already has Jack McKeon with his hands on his hips in the Florida dugout, exhaling. 3-0. Now Jack gets up. And it's inside and low, ball four. McKeon is staring out at Chris Volstad now from the Florida dugout. He just took a peek to his right, which means at least he's thinking about that bullpen because that's where it's located. And Jack McKeon is already at wit's end with Chris Volstad. A leadoff walk to the pitcher.
A lot of people think that Volstad probably brought to the major leagues a little too early. Did very well in that second half of his first year. He actually pitched pretty well last year. I believe his record was 8-1, but the record was not indicative of how he pitched. The team played pretty well and scored a lot of runs in that second half of last year, but he just has not fulfilled his potential, and maybe he did come here too soon.
Well, now Jose Reyes played one game as a 19-year-old for the Mets. Batting left-handed, takes a breaking ball for a called strike. 0-1. Reyes grounded to second his first time up when he joined the Mets in 03. The first game he played, he was 19. The next day was his 20th birthday. The 0-1. Fastball line to left, foul, slicing into the seats and out of play. So Volstad, for a rare opportunity today, ahead of a hitter. It's no balls and 2 strikes. The first baseman, Gabby Sanchez, not holding against Pelfrey. And the 0-2 on the way. Breaking ball hit on the ground right side to his left. And Fonte, the second baseman, throws to first in time to get Reyes. Pelfrey goes to second. So Reyes, at the bare minimum, advances the runner. But now Jose is 0 for 2, and that'll bring up Justin Turner, who, after his single to right field in the first inning, has now hit in 4 straight games and becomes the 15th batter of this game. And Geico wants you to know that a 15-minute phone call can save you 15% or more on your car insurance. Call 1-800-947-AUTO. 3-1 Mets. They look for more in the second. Breaking ball outside to Turner, 1-0.
It may be innocuous, but why in the world would that bounding ball hit to the right of Pelfrey and he has to stop in the base path to allow it to go by? Why would Infante not throw to second base and get Pelfrey?
He took a semi-peek that way. 1-0 pitch on the way. In for a called strike, a slider, 1-1.
I mean, imagine a pitcher who can't run fast anyway, and he's maybe a 33% of the way to second base, and he stops to let the ball go by him. You think Pelfrey's going to outrun that throw to second base? That was an odd play.
Volstad steps off. Well, sometimes teams are just so preoccupied with keeping Jose Reyes off base. The 1-1 on the way. Fastball low, 2-1. That even though you're inviting a player into scoring position, as opposed to taking the chance there, I guess you keep Reyes off base. It prevents him from getting there on the next pitch anyway. I don't know that Infante was thinking that way, but it's a byproduct. 2-1 to Turner. Slider low outside. Ball 3. So 3-1 with Beltran on deck. Mets had 4 hits in the first inning. Turner started that parade. And again, the outfield turned to the opposite field against the right-hand batter. Volstad's 3-1. Fastball inside, ball 4. So the second walk allowed by Volstad. And that'll bring up Beltran, who drew the first one and scored in the first inning. And somebody's walking around to that Marlins bullpen. I'm not sure whether or not he's going to grab a glove and a ball. But I know that Jack McKeon's patience are being tested early. And with Randy St. Clair, the pitching coach, now on his way to the mound, I would imagine somebody's going to get up there any minute. So for the second time already, Volstad, who's been high maintenance for Jack McKeon, has seen a visit from the pitching coach. Volstad has already walked 3 in this game. Well, let's see what else is happening around the major leagues this Friday afternoon and evening. Earlier today, the Cubs defeated the Astros 4-2 at Wrigley, scoring all of their runs in the 5th. Alfonso Soriano and Aramis Ramirez both hit home runs. Still a ton of money left on that Soriano contract. So here's Beltran batting left-handed. First pitch, curveball in for a called strike. 0-1. Beltran is hit .333 with men in scoring position. Leads the National League in extra base hits. Pelfrey at second. Turner at first with 1 out. The pitch way outside and high. 1 ball and 1 strike. A changeup there that just floated to the plate from Volstad. San Diego and Philadelphia were delayed at the start by rain. They're now in the bottom of the 2nd, no score. For Lipke against Cole Hamels. 1-1 the count. The pitch. Fastball hit high in the air and back of third. A foul ball. Bonifacio over by the railing, but runs out of room. It's out of play. And so Volstad now ahead in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. St. Louis and Pittsburgh are in a rain delay at the start. Chris Carpenter and Paul Maholm are the pitchers there if and when they get started. 1-2 to Beltran. Volstad delivers, and a slider inside and low. 2-2. Pirates are expecting sellouts tonight and tomorrow night, and that's great. I believe they've had 10 already this year.
You are correct.
And that is clearly one of the best stories in all of baseball, the resurgence of the Pirates. 2-2 pitch, swung on and chopped foul off his foot up the first baseline. Now, the Pirates are not on pace to win 100 games or anything like that. They're playing in a mosh pit of mediocrity known as the National League Central. But they're 6 games over 500, and that's good for a 1 percentage point lead over the Milwaukee Brewers. St. Louis just a game behind, and Cincinnati 4 back. So you've got the first 3 teams separated by a game, and the top 4 separated by 4. 2-2 to Beltran. Here's the pitch. Fastball inside, ball 3. So a full count, and the runners do not figure to be going anywhere here with Pelfrey, the pitcher, at second base, and Justin Turner at first. David Wright on deck. It's 3-1 New York here in the 2nd. Volstad sets. Now the pitch. And a chopper hits slowly towards first, moving over to get it on the grass. Sanchez glove flips it to Volstad, covering in time, and the runners move up. And so going to third is Pelfrey, to second Turner. And with 2 men away, David Wright, the batter. First base is open, but a left-hand batter after him, Daniel Murphy. So John Buck looks into the Florida dugout just to see what they want to do. I would imagine they'll pitch to Wright. Particularly the left-hand batters have really hit Volstad hard this year. .316 is the average for lefty batters against Volstad. Here's Wright now, who doubled in a run and later scored in the first inning in his return to the lineup. Second and third, 2 out. First pitch, breaking ball, hits the outside corner for a called strike 1. David was saying before the game that going into the rehab games, he actually felt better than he thought he would. Remember, they gave him a lot of time when he wasn't really able to do any baseball activities. Here's the 0-1. Fastball inside and low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Said it was actually kind of harder for him to get it going as opposed to spring training because due to the injury, he wasn't able to do anything at full speed and had to really kind of slide into it gradually. 1-1 pitch, slider, fouled back to the screen. And so Volstad ahead here, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
He's seen that ball very well, just as he did in that rehab stint. I mean, he just took a vicious cut at that ball.
So Pelfrey at third, Turner at second with 2 out. 3-1 New York. We're in the 2nd. Volstad trying to get out of this inning unscathed. Sets at the belt, a 1-2 pitch, and a breaking ball low outside. 2-2. It's a pitch that David has been vulnerable to over the last couple of years in particular, including the beginning of this year. Started the hands but held back. And so the count even. We'll see if Volstad goes out there again. Once more, the outfield plays him decidedly to the opposite field. Now the pitch. Fastball swung on and missed, strike 3. So he went away with a breaking ball, came back in with a sinker, right down on strikes, and the Mets don't score in the second. No runs, no hits, 2 walks, 2 left for Volstad, his first strikeout, into the middle of the second. It's 3-1 Mets on the WFAN Mets Radio Network. If you're hitting the road, why don't you take the Mets with you wherever you go this season by subscribing to MLB.TV today. You can see every Mets game live or on demand on your computer and your favorite devices. MLB.TV Premium lets you enjoy HD quality home and away coverage, multi-game view, and the ability to pause and rewind live games. Visit Mets.com to order and get more details. MLB.TV, baseball everywhere. 3-1 New York. As we go to the last of the second inning, Gabby Sanchez, the first baseman, in to lead off, batting at .285. Pelfrey deals a fastball high, 1 ball and no strikes. Sanchez, a kid from the area here, born in Miami. The 1-0 pitch on the way, taken high and inside, like the splitter there from Pelfrey, and the count 2 balls and no strikes. Sanchez has started every game the Marlins have played. One of them is the designated hitter. And the 2-0 pitch. Fastball foul back over the screen. And the count 2-1. Nice grab made by a fan in the stands. Reds lead the Braves 1-0. Bottom of the second in Cincinnati. Zach Cozart's second homer. Jair Jurgens against Bronson Arroyo. Mets will go to Cincinnati after the game on Sunday. 4 with the Reds. 2-1 pitch. Fastball foul back to the screen. It's 2-2. Later on, Colorado at Arizona, Washington at Los Angeles, and Milwaukee at San Francisco. American League, the A's have a 2-0 lead over the Yankees. That game is in the top of the second inning. Trevor Cahill against Phil Hughes. 2-2 to Sanchez. Curveball popped up to the left of third base. David Wright moves over and makes the catch for the first out. So 1 away. And Mike Stanton, the batter. Chicago at Cleveland have been delayed at the start by rain. Gavin Floyd and Carlos Carrasco, if and when. Angels nothing, Orioles nothing after 2 in Baltimore. Urban Santana against Alfredo Simon. Seattle 1, Boston nothing. Bottom 1 at Fenway. Felix Hernandez and John Lackey. First pitch to Stanton, fouled back over the screen, 0-1. And another outstanding catch. That ball got back there pretty fast. Fan seated directly below us. Popped up, got the hand up, came up with a palm full of baseball. Here's the 0-1. Curveball in for a call. Strike, 0-2. Stanton, a kid with enormous power. He is the right fielder of the Marlins, but Jack McKeon played him a little in center field the other day. The 0-2, fastball high, 1 ball and 2 strikes. A big blowout game against San Diego. He had 4 guys playing out of position at one point. And the guy up next, Brian Peterson, pitched an inning. 1-2 pitch, slider. They want to check the swing at first. Nothing doing, according to Chris Cuccione. So it's ball 2 and the count even 2-2.
Well, the Padres came in the worst hitting team in the National League. They left as the worst hitting team in the National League, but they left an impression here.
2-2 pitch, fastball outside, ball 3.
What's interesting is that, remember Greg Olson, who at one time was a closer with the Orioles, also with the Florida Marlins, is the advanced scout for the Padres. He must have had one great report.
Payoff pitch to Stanton, hit in the air to right field, not deep, slicing towards the line, long run, foul ball beyond the reach of both the incoming Beltran and the outgoing Murphy. And it's still full to Stanton.
It was like the Marlins were saying today, it's like the hitters knew what was coming in every instance. Every pitch They deciphered what it was going to be, and they hit it with authority.
Well, they had won 13 out of 17 going into that San Diego series. Padres scored early and often, and the Mets scored 3 in the first inning tonight and lead 3-1. Payoff pitch to Stanton. Breaking ball, fouled back over the screen again.
It's kind of weird how things work out. I know the Phillies have done very well in San Diego, and if I'm not mistaken, I think they've won 11 straight games in San Diego. The Padres came here, and they've won 8 in a row here in Miami.
Here's the payoff pitch. Curveball line foul down the left field line. Got out in front of that. Well, this is hardly a home field advantage for the Marlins because they generally don't draw well. They are 9 games under the 500 mark here. They've got the 4th lowest winning percentage at home of any team in the National League. There's generally not many people here to see them. Here's the payoff pitch, and another breaking ball fouled back by Stanton. And so that's why it's going to be so interesting next year when they move into the new ballpark, because there are questions there about where the fans are going to come from. This is Broward, or, well, yeah, they basically draw now from Broward County, which is north of Dade. Dade is where the new ballpark is. Payoff pitch, fastball hit in the air, deep to right field. Back goes Beltran at the track, at the wall. It's gone. Mike Stanton, or is it? Yeah, that's a home run. Stanton stopped at first, thinking that ball might have hit the top of the fence. It actually hit a wall behind the fence and came back onto the field. But clearly a home run for Stanton, his 21st of the year, and the Mets lead is cut to 3-2. And Mike Pelfrey has given up his 17th home run of the year. He kept trying to get Stanton with breaking balls. Finally gave in on 3-2, and Stanton beat him.
Absolutely crushed that baseball. Hanley Ramirez, standing near the on-deck circle, put his hands over his eyes like he didn't want to look at, because Stanton messed up the home run trot
in a big way. So here's Brian Peterson, and the first pitch to Peterson, a fastball for a called strike one. Watching a replay, that ball didn't even hit the little wall behind the fence. It came out of a fan's hand, seated a little farther back than that. The 0-1 on the way, and a splitter low. 1 ball and 1 strike. That was some ugly looking trot by Stanton, because he turned first and then slammed on the brakes because he saw the ball come back onto the field and thought it was in play. The 1-1 pitch, splitter high and away, 2-1.
I think that's a good sign that he wasn't admiring his shot.
He better have been on second base if that ball fell in, though. 2-1 the count. Now the pitch. Hit hard on the ground to first. Backhanded by Murphy down to his knee, and he steps on the bag for the second out. Hard hit ball. Nice play by Murphy. So 2 away. And the number 8 hitter, catcher John Buck, coming up. Buck, the catcher, and he had the difference-making hit on opening night in this ballpark against Pelfrey. Boy, Murphy made a nice play there, and that's consistent with how he handled those reaction plays at third base in the absence of David Wright. He's no Gold Glover, of course, but he's been something of a revelation in that his improvement has been very noticeable. So here's Buck in a slider outside, 1-0.
The real problem with Murphy, and we noted it yesterday talking about it during the Cardinal broadcast, is how people will look at him from other teams and say, could be a third baseman for us.
The 1-0. Take it off the outside corner, a fastball. 2-0 to the number 8 hitter.
The only thing that kind of hurts him is that you're talking about first base or third base, and those are power positions, or they should be. And that is something he doesn't have.
2-0 pitch, a fastball, high, ball 3. Pelfrey's 3-1 pitch, and that's off the outside corner, a fastball, ball 4. So Pelfrey walks the number 8 hitter with 2 out, and Chris Volstad will be the batter. Florida pitcher, not an awful hitter for a pitcher. He's 6 out of 30. Pelfrey looking to the sky for a moment, perhaps for some divine intervention here to get out of this second inning. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Buck takes off from first, and the payoff pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Finally finishes him off with a fastball, and that retires the side. Marlins score 1 run on 1 hit. The homer by Stanton, a walk and 1 left. At the end of 2, it's the Mets 3 and the Marlins 2 on the WFAN Mets Radio Network.
Mets had 2 walks issued to them in the second inning, including Pelfrey, the leadoff hitter, and the opposing pitcher. Couldn't score. Swinging a pop-up on an off-speed pitch. On the left side it goes. On the skin part of the diamond for the shortstop, Hanley Ramirez, who one-hands it casually. And that's out number 1. You better catch that ball when you look like that. We're coming to you live from the Peerless Boilers broadcast booth here in Miami. Remember, Peerless builds America's best boilers. Angel Pagan, the hitter.
Wonder if Hanley Ramirez would be available if the Marlins have tired of the act, because occasionally he just doesn't seem to be interested.
Pitch on the way, and it's fouled off to the left by Angel Pagan on a fastball.
Jack.
It's the second time that McKeon has taken Choate out, but that's the first time he did it against the left-hander when he fell behind 2-0. It's unafraid. Fastball swung on and missed, and down goes Pagan, swinging from the heel. So that'll take care of Pagan, and Lucas Duda will be the hitter. In retrospect, I look back, that could very well have been a changeup. About 6 mile-per-hour difference between the fastball and the changeup. That's a straight change that he threw him. Still throws that changeup pretty hard at 86 miles an hour, but he definitely took a lot off of it. Here's Lucas Duda, who's single to right. And he takes that off-speed pitch in for a strike, as called by the home plate umpire Mike Everett. Remember that Monday night, the Marlins weren't happy to be in New York because they had to come back and play that makeup game. Pitch is over for a strike. A good fastball at the knees, and it's 0-2 on Duda. The team got here at about 3:15 a.m. at the ballpark to get their bags and get to their cars and drive home. Pitch on the way, a swing, a little number foul back at the plate. So think about it, 3:15, you drive however far you live from here, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever the case may be. First guy at the ballpark that same morning, because they had a game against the Padres, was Jack McKeon. He got there at 9:30 here at the ballpark.
He must have slept here.
Here's the pitch. Swung on. That's hit hard into right. A base hit. Shot in between the first baseman Sanchez and the second baseman Infante. And Stanton gets it back in. And Dude is 2 for 2. Well, he said he would have been here sooner. He went to Mass at 8:30. Got here at 9:30. He goes to Mass every single day.
By the way, that's 2 0-2 hits now for the Mets against Volstad. Turner in the first inning, and now Duda.
One right-handed, one left-handed. Ronnie Paulino, the batter. Mets leading 3-2. Didn't take advantage of those 2 walks. Those men were left in scoring position in the second inning. Pitch on the way. That's low and outside. A fastball off of the glove of Buck, but no advance by the Mets. That's 3 times I have seen in this game, and we're only in the third inning, where the ball was dropped by Buck, and the runner has not taken advantage. Justin Turner was the first guy. Duda was this particular gentleman who did not pounce upon that opportunity. The pitch, and a breaking ball low and outside. 2-0 to Paulino. He threw Paulino a lot of breaking pitches. Ultimately, it was a breaking ball that he grounded out to second on. On the road, off the road, brought to you by Dodge. They're Dodge, and they're never neutral. The pitch, fastball, foul down the right side, backing out of play. Mets are on the road for a while now. 3 here, 4 in Cincinnati. First time we've seen the Reds all year. And then off to Washington, D.C., a team that the Mets haven't seen a lot of in recent time, the Washington Nationals. Davey Johnson. The pitch, breaking ball, hit high in the air to deep center field. Going back is Peterson. He has a play, settles underneath it, makes the catch, and the inning is over. No runs ahead, the man left on. We go to the bottom of the third here in Miami. It's the Mets 3, the Marlins 2 on the WFAN Mets Radio Network.
Bridgewater Acura is making a huge investment.
School is out. Baseball is in for only $10. High school and college students with a valid school ID can enjoy a Mets game with their fellow classmates at Citi Field. For more information, visit Mets.com/students. That's Mets.com/students. Heading to the bottom of the third inning, the Mets scored 3 times in the first inning for Mike Pelfrey. Slowly but surely, he has given 2 of the runs back. 1 in the first inning and 1 in the second on a home run by Mike Stanton, his 21st of the year. Emilio Bonifacio, who stole a base and scored against him, leads off by trying to bunt his way on and bunts it foul up the third base side, strike 1. A 21-game hitting streak for Bonifacio. If you talk to the Marlins, you ask, who's the MVP of this season so far? It's really a toss-up between Bonifacio and Gabby Sanchez. Here's the pitch, and the left-handed batter takes it outside. A fastball, 1 ball, 1 strike. Bonifacio is probably the biggest beneficiary of Jack McKeon. Here's an off-speed pitch in for a dandy of a strike. Looked like a curveball, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Because Jack McKeon took him aside when he first joined this ball club and said, "Kid, hit the ball on the ground and run." And he's been doing it ever since. He takes the fastball high. That levels it at 2-2. Outfield straight away. And the pitch to the plate. Outside. Trying to throw him an off-speed pitch and get a swing. It wasn't even close. 3-2. David Wright is way off the line. He's about 3 steps behind the bag, but way to his left, trying to cut off that hole between third and short. Oh, he plays it so much differently than Daniel Murphy. The pitch, swung on and slashed foul off to the left and out of play. Try Wendy's new Wild Berry Frosty Parfait today, made with only the freshest berries. And they're picked at the peak of the season, or sip the new Wild Berry Frosty Shake for limited time only. After that Chinese food tonight, that would sound pretty good. A little filling. The pitch on the way. High for a ball. He walks Bonifacio. I know it didn't sound like a good combination, but you get the point. That wasn't very good Chinese food tonight.
Is that what they
call
that?
Chinese food? That was terrible. Omar Infante, the batter, fly to center field his first time. You liked it, Chris? No. You're the connoisseur of the Chinese food.
I wonder if Mr. Yoshi over at Daruma and Great Neck would cater down here.
If he did, I'd eat the sushi with you. Here's the pitch. Line foul down the right side and out of play.
So that's it. I can't even get you to take a ride up to Great Neck with me to get the greatest sushi in New York at Daruma.
I'll go with you.
You'll have it down here.
Well, after that dinner, I need something.
All right. All right.
That's the kind of dinner you sit down to and you go away hungry.
Or you just go away forever.
Out of the stretch, Pelfrey throws over to first base. Close play. Bonifacio back in. We had mentioned that Jack McKeon, I mean, he knows this team because he took everybody aside separately and kind of talked them into what they should do. And Bonifacio at the plate and on the bases. Off to another big lead and a quick throw. They nearly nailed him. Coming off the bag, acting as if he had him, was Daniel Murphy. And now he's going to talk to Chris Guccione, the first base umpire. Oh, I'll tell you what, he has a reason to believe he did get it.
Well, I'm not sure because he swept upwards with the glove, and I guess Murph is saying he grazed him on the forearm before the hand got in. The angle I saw is not conclusive. But I could see where Murphy thinks he had a chance.
Another throw by Pelfrey. Not nearly as close, but he's certainly wearing out Bonifacio, and his front part of his uniform getting dirtier by the second. They've been running on Pelfrey 16 out of 17 this year. And he knows that has not been a good part of his game defending against. But he can't spend all day throwing over to first base. He's going to have to throw a pitch here. Here it comes, and he misses low with a fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sometimes the best defense is to get a strike, get a ground ball, and see if you can turn 2.
Well, the problem when you're not aggressive sometimes is that what happened in one inning begets what happens in the next. Remember, he walked the number 8 hitter and had a chance to make the pitcher lead off this inning. But by walking Buck, now he walked Bonifacio.
Another throw to first, and he's back in diving.
And he's got to spend all this extra energy now trying to keep Bonifacio, who is an absolute stolen base threat, from trying to get into scoring position with nobody out. Really, the problem that Pelfrey has in this inning was set up by his inability to get Buck in the second inning.
1 ball, 1 strike to the batter, Omar Infante. Bonifacio doesn't go, and a slider is outside for ball 2. 2-1. And the last 2 pitches have not been real close.
I just think he's so preoccupied now with first base, he's losing a little bit of his focus at the plate.
Still loves to stare over there. He's now taken 2 looks at Bonifacio before he's even come to a stretch. Now he stretches. A long pause, a throw to first, and diving back in with the right hand is Bonifacio. He's leading by 1 run. And it's not the bottom of the 9th inning, and that is not the winning run. Well, he has paid an awful lot of attention to Bonifacio. Now stretching is Pelfrey. And the pitch swung on and slugged foul off to the right. Got a fastball in on the hands of Infante. And it's 2-2.
You know, you look at his pitch count, and he's thrown 56 right now. But with all of the attention and focus that he has dedicated to Bonifacio in this inning, then Pelfrey might as well have thrown 75 pitches by this point, because that's how taxed he's been because of this leadoff base runner.
Now he comes set. Bonifacio a short lead. He's going to pitch a ground ball in the hole, base hit into left center field, picked up by Duda, racing first to third as Bonifacio taking off for home. Here comes a throw in from second base. He slides in safely. The throw came in very awkwardly from Duda to Turner at second base, and Bonifacio took the turn. He was not paying attention to the third base coach. It was strictly all on his own. He took the turn, kept moving, looked over his shoulder, and then went into a full sprint, because the Mets, who threw the ball into second base, as I said, awkwardly, just bouncing the throw into second base by Duda on a short throw, and credit Bonifacio, making like Lou Brock, making like Ricky Henderson, Ty Cobb, name it. He just created his own run to tie the game at 3.
I think Duda's body language, as much as the poor throw, is what set Bonifacio thinking he had a chance to come all the way around. Duda just kind of loped after that ball, and then when he got it, took the laziest lob throw in one hop Turner. Turner had no chance.
So now it's Logan Morrison who takes the pitch low, ball 1. And another aspect of the play with Bonifacio, Jose Reyes' job at shortstop is not to break too soon, especially with 2 strikes on the count. A ground ball was hit right to the vacated spot for that hit to left center. He broke very early. The pitch over for a strike, a fastball, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
Are you surprised with the right-hand batter up? And I'd have to see the pitch again to see if it was something away that was intended, but are you surprised they had Reyes covering with a right-handed hitter up?
Yeah, it is a bit odd. It's very odd. And for him to break as early as he did, once they felt that Infante pushes that ball to the right side. Speaking of which, here's a bouncy ball foul outside of first by the left-handed, hitting Logan Morrison. For Bonifacio, it's my vote for MVP of this team. He has scored 2 runs basically on his own. A single in the first inning, stole second. Then he advanced to third on the fly ball to center and scored on a ground ball out. He walks here in the third and then goes first to third on a base hit into left center field. Picked up in shallow left center field by Duda and just kept running. Great job of base running. Now the pitch. And it's low and inside, a fastball. Morrison able to lay off. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count. So those 3 runs have been surrendered. 1 run in each of the first 3 innings so far for the Marlins. They've got that runner in scoring position at second base, Omar Infante. And the pitch. Swinging a bouncy ball out to second base. To field it is Turner. He'll turn and throw to first base to get the out. And on the play, Infante advances to third base. So 1 out.
You know, Wayne, I know Turner looks culpable because it happened on his watch. But you've got to do a better job of getting that ball into him than Lucas Duda did.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. He hesitated, then threw a 1-hopper. I mean, that's what guys do with speed. Dan Warthen's now going to the mound. They were driving. It was really one person, Bonifacio. We respect them as a team. The Marlins know that they can exploit Mike Pelfrey working out of the stretch, and they have run him to death. And Bonifacio in particular, I don't know what. That's the only thing you could say is it's an instinct on his part to run the bases in the fashion in which he did. Speed's going to create some things, but you have to know how to ad-lib. We talked about this yesterday with Angel Pagan. At times doesn't ad-lib athletically on the field that well. But Bonifacio just did a remarkable job. I haven't seen base running like that since the likes of Willie Mays, really. Never once looked at the third base coach. He had nothing to do with it. Give all of the credit to Bonifacio. So now with the runner at third base representing the go-ahead run, unfortunately for the Mets infield, they have to play up with Hanley Ramirez up there at the plate. Here's the pitch and a fastball strike, 0-1.
And there's a guy in the Mets dugout right now who could do stuff like that, and that was Mookie Wilson. He would score from second on an infield ground ball out, go first to third on a ground ball out.
There's a lot of respect for Bonifacio in that third base dugout occupied by the Mets after seeing that. The 0-1 pitch coming to Hanley. And a fastball is high, 1-1. Mookie always talks about when he would get off to that lead at first base, he says, now it's my game. Now you can watch me. Because his game was speed. You're right. Off to his lead at third is Infante with 1 out. Pelfrey doesn't get many strikeouts. He could use one here. The pitch, swing and a miss. And the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. He got that 91-mile-per-hour fastball by him. That was a good location at one time if you think about a right-handed hitter. If it's going to hit the outside corner, but that tailed back in over the center of the plate. You saw a bolt of lightning above. That's what the crowd is reacting to.
Oh, lovely.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
Just wait till next season. Then you could rain during games all you want here.
The set. Look at third by Pelfrey. Here's the pitch. Look out, up and in. Right at the head of Hanley Ramirez. And he got out of the way. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That loosened him up. Infante does not have great speed, but above average speed. That's why Reyes is playing so shallow at shortstop. With his great arm, he could play just a little bit deeper to cover a little bit more ground. That's what Wright's doing at third. The pitch. And it's too high. He misses with a fastball. Now it's a full count, 3-2. Definitely shortened up on the right side with Murphy playing just about even with the base path once that pitch is delivered. Turner actually shortened up even more. Out of the infielders, probably the weakest of the arms. Here's the stretch and the pitch. And he lost him to a walk. He walked him on a high fastball. So now you know Hanley Ramirez is going to drive him crazy because he is definitely going to be stealing. He has 17 thefts. He's really geared it up now. And the Mets have to go to the bullpen and get somebody loose because Mike Pelfrey's on the verge of losing it here. 1 out, runners at the corners. He has surrendered a 3-0 lead. We're tied at 3. And it's going to be Manny Acosta warming up for the Mets. Gabby Sanchez is the hitter. Stretched by Pelfrey. The pitch is on the way. A swing and a chopper out near second base. Picked up by Reyes. Steps on the bag. One. Throw to first. That's two. A double play. 6-6-3. And Pelfrey went back to his old fastball and got a double play to get him out of the jam. In the inning, 1 run, 1 hit, 1 runner left on. And at the end of 3 full innings of play, we're tied at 3 on the WFAN Mets Radio Network. Bit of a strange game with 2 pitchers who have struggled mightily, and I guess you could expect that. Mike Pelfrey leads it off, and he takes a pitch first strike, a fastball from Volstad. 3-3 is the score. 3 runs on 5 hits for the Mets, 3 runs on 3 hits for the Marlins. We're in the top of the 4th. The pitch grounded foul over to the Mets dugout on the third base side. Pelfrey walked his first time, but was left stranded at third base in inning number 2. He'll be followed by Jose Reyes and then Justin Turner. Mookie Wilson talking things over with Lucas Duda on that poor play in left field. Breaking ball is outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And that's what a good coach will do. He'll pick his spot when he talks to him. He knows the personality of Duda. Mookie Wilson trying to point out various aspects to that play. A pitch outside, a fastball, and it's 2-2. Oh, they really are mirror images of each other. Volstad and Pelfrey in many respects. Both tall. The pitch is a curveball low, and he's gone to a full count, 3-2 on Pelfrey. Why wouldn't he throw him a fastball? He's got 1 hit this year. He wants to toy with him on a 2-2 curveball. Here's the pitch. That is swing and a miss. He got it with a fastball away, and Pelfrey strikes out to begin the inning. That's the 3rd for Volstad. And the batter would be Jose Reyes. Marlins have been 15-12 since Jack McKeon took over. Did not play well against San Diego, who just basically took it to them. Swept a 3-game series. Here's Reyes, who twice has grounded out to the second baseman, Omar Infante. Volstad at 6'8", winds and delivers, and a hard shot base hit into right on a hanging curveball. And Reyes is aboard. And as it's thrown back in by Stanton, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the WFAN Mets Radio Network. Wayne Hagan, Howie Rose coming to you live from the Peerless Boilers broadcast booth. Remember, Peerless builds America's best boilers. So we'll see if Reyes might be taking off here. He has not stolen a base since coming back. The pitch, and it's over for a strike to Justin Turner. Got that fastball going. Turner, pretty good fastball hitter. Singled and scored a run in the first inning, walked and did not score in the second. Reyes edges off to his leads, hands on both kneecaps. Now a snap throw over to first base, and he's back in standing. 3-3 is our score here. The 4th inning out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by Cars for Kids. That's Cars with a K. Donate your car today at carsforkids.com. Volstad throws over to first base almost from his hip as he was coming out of that slotted position with his right foot up against the rubber. He had not gone to a stretch yet. Well, he's bothered by Reyes just like Pelfrey was bothered by Bonifacio. The pitch. And a slow batter towards the left side, cut off by the third baseman, Bonifacio, who bobbles it and has to chase it down near the second base position, and everybody's going to be safe. In his haste to get the out because of the speed of Reyes, he hurried everything and never got the ball out of the glove. He was trying to underhand it, feeding it to the second baseman Infante. So that'll be a fielder's choice and error on the second base, or excuse me, on the third baseman trying to get that play to second. And the Mets have got to take full advantage as Carlos Beltran will be the hitter. That was a good job by Bonifacio to cut in front of the shortstop. I am not certain Ramirez has any play but to first base. So Reyes probably would have gotten there if the ball got past Bonifacio. But once he gloved it, if he had gotten it out of the glove, he probably gets the out at second. Here's Beltran waiting. He's 0 for 1 on a walk, swings and bounces it hard, and a big rocket bounce over the head of the first baseman, Gabby Sanchez, on into right field, and Reyes is going to score. And going first to third is Justin Turner. Carlos Beltran, a beneficiary of a bad hop single to drive in his 62nd run of the year, and the Mets take a 4-3 lead.
You remember the Super Bowl? That's the kind of hop that ball took. Sanchez was all set to field the hop and try to initiate a double play, and then whoop, all the way over his glove. That just shut up.
Now, that's the kind of ball you would see if the Dolphins had been playing some football here. Of course, nobody's been playing football lately. That, I don't know what it could possibly have hit that deep at first base, but it took a rocket shot over his head. And David Wright is the batter with runners at first and third. The pitch right down the middle for a strike. So the Mets have runners at first and third, safe and secure, and trying to get home. Help keep your family safe and secure with 166 years of financial strength. New York Life Insurance Company can help ensure your loved ones will always be taken care of. Find out more at NewYorkLife.com. The pitch on the way. It's grounded off the fist foul to the third base dugout. 0-2 the count to David Wright. He ripped a single or make it a double in inning number 1 to drive in 1 run, and then struck out swinging over the top of an inside fastball his last time up. Only 1 out. A run is in. The Mets lead it 4-3. And here's the pitch. Swinging a fly ball to right field. Stanton coming in near the line. He makes the catch. Tagging at third is Turner. Not coming as the throw comes on the fly to home. A strong throw by Stanton. But he really wasn't very deep. That ball not hit deep enough by David Wright. And there are 2 outs as the runners cannot advance. And the hitter will be Daniel Murphy. So the Mets are going to have to go back to their patented RBI, and it seems to come with 2 outs so often. But they're going to get another run here. Murphy has singled in a run, and he's popped to short. Cubs scored 4 runs in the 5th and beat Houston 4-2 today. Carlos Zambrano, his 7th win, beating Bud Norris. It is Philadelphia 3, San Diego 0 through 4. Corey Lupke against Cole Hamels in that matchup. Hamels going up against his hometown team, the Padres. Well, here's Murphy. Beltran at first, Turner the runner at third, and a runner over at first gets the attention of the pitcher. Volstad tosses to first to get him back. Albert Pujols hit a home run in the first inning at Pittsburgh after they had a delay. It's 5-2 Cardinals, bottom of the third. David Freese has also hit a home run. The stretch and the pitch. Fastball fouled away by Murphy. Chris Carpenter against Paul Maholm. Carpenter 11-2 lifetime against the Pirates, so they have an early lead for him. Atlanta 2, Cincinnati 1, bottom of the 5th inning. Jason Hayward, Brian McCann have hit home runs. Zach Cozart has hit his 2nd major league home run. Colorado's at Arizona, Washington and L.A., Milwaukee at San Francisco. The 0-1 pitch, just a little high with an off-speed pitch, and it's 1-1. Yankees scored 5 runs in the bottom of the 2nd to erase a 2-0 deficit to the A's at Yankee Stadium. They're now in the bottom of the 3rd, 5-2 Yankees. Nick Swisher hit a 3-run home run. Here's the pitch, fouled out of play off to the left. Well, we have to put some numbers on that board for the Yankees as they bat in the 3rd inning. It's 14-2 now. And Mark Teixeira's hit a grand slam in that game. So that's the update from Yankee Stadium. 14-2. Murphy can make it 5-3 here if he can get that runner in from third. The pitch from Volstad. breaking ball hit in the air to deep left center field. On the move, Peterson racing, reaches out, makes a backhanded catch running onto the warning track, and the inning will come to an end. A nice play by Peterson out there in left center field. For the Mets, they scored 1 run. They had 2 hits. There was an error and 2 runners left on, and we go to the bottom of the 4th. 4-3 New York at the WFAN Mets Radio Network. Mike Stanton leads it off against Mike Pelfrey here in the 4th inning. The last time he stood at home plate, he hit a home run the opposite field. 4-3 Mets, and the first pitch on the outside corner for a called strike 1, a fastball. Stanton's home run over the head of Carlos Beltran and over the wall. Breaking ball is outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. And it will be Brian Peterson, who just made a nice running catch in left center field, and the catcher John Buck. Pelfrey's pitch. Fastball rides high. Did he hold up? They'll appeal to first, and Chris Guccione says no swing. And the Mets come to bat in the next inning. It'll be time for the Dodge Charger back-to-back home run giveaway. Kerry Warren from New City will win a Dodge Charger. The Mets hit back-to-back home runs to lead off the 5th. The pitch, a little bit low with the fastball. That was close, 3-1. I think Pelfrey won it that one. All you have to do is go to WFAN.com to register for your chance to win. The pitch, fastball is outside, ball 4. So a leadoff walk. That's the 4th walk given up by Pelfrey on the night. Now it's Brian Peterson. He grounded out his first time. Well, that infield defense and the outfield defense, you're just taking a look at them saying, they're just wondering what's going on with Pelfrey tonight. The offense gave him a 3-0 lead in the first. Subsequently, he gave it away. They tied it. The Mets just gave him another lead in the pitch. On a foul up the third base side. And they count 0-1.
Bunting?
Yeah.
The number 7 hitter is Bunting.
That's Babe Ruth out on deck now.
I guess. You know, he did hit that grand slam, did Buck, on opening night.
We won't diss him.
I mean, you can't. You're the 7th place hitter. You can't bunt and leave it up to the 8 and 9 guys.
That's what he was doing. Came in the game inning 243. The pitch, he swings this time and wraps it out to second base. Turner has it, feeds Reyes, throw to first, double play.
He should have
4-6-3.
He got a bunt there.
That's very funny. I like that. He hit that ball hard. 4-6-3 double play, and John Buck coming up. Elsewhere, the Angels of Baltimore scoreless at the bottom of the 5th inning. It is Boston at Fenway leading 2-1 over Seattle, top of the 5th. Jacoby Ellsbury a home run. Toronto, Texas scoreless through 1. Tampa Bay 1. Kansas City coming to bat. Detroit has scored in the first inning at Minnesota. Pitch wrapped on the ground to third base. John Buck doesn't run well, and a long throw by David Wright will take care of him. And somehow, some way, the last couple of innings, Pelfrey has found that sinker, and it's working for him. In the inning, no runs, no hits, nobody left. End of 4. It's 4-3 in favor of the Mets and the WFAN Mets Radio Network. Glenwood. Well, it's been a struggle for both pitchers, Chris Volstad and Mike Pelfrey, but both still very much a part of this game as we advance to the 5th inning. It's the Mets 4, the Marlins 3, and here's Howie Rose.
All right, thank you, Wayne. Angel Pagan into lead off, drove in a run with a sac fly and struck out. First pitch, fastball, he bunts and misses. And the count 0-1 to Angel. With Lucas Duda and Ronnie Paulino to follow here in the 5th inning as we come to you live from the Peerless Boilers broadcast booth. Visit peerlessboilers.com for a dealer near you. The 0-1 fastball downstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike to Angel Pagan. Marlins play him straight away in the outfield. Bonifacio well off the line at third, even with a bag. And the 1-1 swung on and missed. Changeup there from Volstad. He throws that changeup in the mid-80s. He's got about a 92, 93 mile an hour fastball. But just takes enough off on that changeup to fool, as he did there, Angel Pagan. 1-2 pitch, fastball hit on the ground up the middle to his right. Infante, second baseman, sliding, stop, and he throws out Pagan. Nice play. One man away. Play by Omar Infante. This fifth inning is brought to you by 5-Hour Energy. 5-Hour Energy fixes tired fast. One shot, back to work, problem solved. Visit 5hourenergy.com today. So here's Lucas Duda, who is 2 for 2, a couple of singles, and a poor play in the outfield, which contributed to Bonifacio's scoring all the way from first base on a hit-and-run single by Omar Infante in the third inning. And the Marlins overshift the infield against him. First pitch, changeup on the outside corner, strike one called. Wayne, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the first time we've seen a team overshift against Duda.
I don't remember it one time this season.
The 0-1 changeup hit on the ground up the first base line, a foul ball, 0-2.
I think you're absolutely right.
Both of Duda's hits have gone to right field. And these singles are nice, but, you know, they've got to get the power from him to justify his at-bats. Now, obviously, he's justifying it with a base hits. Change up outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Right now, his playing time stands to take a big hit just as soon as Jason Bay comes back, the way Murphy and Turner have been playing. The 1-2 on the way. Fastball low outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. If they're playing him to pull the ball, the changeup outside and the fastball outside, not pitches you're going to get a hit to the right side with.
Now the 2-2 pitch. Fastball low, ball 3. So what was 0-2 is now 3-2. And this is not the first time we've seen that sequence tonight from, for that matter, not only Volstad, but also Mike Pelfrey. 4-3 New York. We're in the fifth. 1 out, nobody on. 3-2 pitch. Little chopper to second base. In 2 steps, Infante gathers it up and throws out Duda. 2 men away. So 2 ground balls to second here in the fifth inning, and Ronnie Paulino, the hitter. Ronnie's grounded to second, fly to center, just 7 for his last 39. If you're wondering, if the Mets do end up moving Carlos Beltran, what specifically are they looking for? Well, you know, if you're thinking catching, which is not a point of depth in the organization, fastball low, 1 ball and no strikes. Some of the people we've talked to indicate that primarily they're looking at 2 things: pitching and outfield help. Here's the 1-0. Fastball outside, 2-0. You know, if the Mets can, because I've seen this, Ken Rosenthal of Fox Sports had it out a couple of days ago. They can get Dominic Brown out of the Phillies for Carlos Beltran. Pitch to Paulino, hit hard on the ground up the middle, smothered and then released by a diving Ramirez, backed up by the second baseman Infante, but his throw is too late to get Paulino, so it'll be an infield hit for Ronnie Paulino. That was almost a spectacular play by Ramirez. But as he began to lift his body, the ball rolled loose, and Infante did what he could in backing up, but just not in time.
Tell you what, that was a great effort by Infante. He could remember who was running when he was running over to just kind of back up on that play, and he goes, oh, wait a minute, registered the thought. It's Paulino, and he almost threw him out.
So now the Mets at a bare minimum can clear Pelfrey here. He's walked and struck out. First pitch, fastball, in for a called strike, 0-1. Mets now with 8 hits. The Marlins have 3. It's 4-3 New York. They've had base runners aboard in all 5 innings. And the pitch to Pelfrey, rolled foul to the left of home plate, 0-2. For that matter, the Marlins have had base runners in each of the first 4 innings. But Mike Pelfrey was able to get that double play ball from Brian Peterson. And so the Marlins, in the 4th, first time tonight, sent only 3 batters to the plate. 0-2 pitch, a curveball in there. Strike 3 called. Side retired. No runs, a hit, 1 left. Middle of the 5th. 4-3 New York. on the WFAN Mets radio network. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. It is 4-3 New York. Wes Helms will come up to bat for Chris Volstad. So the Marlins pitcher will leave after 5. The in-game summary brought to you by Metro PCS. Now buy any phone and get one free. Restrictions apply. See store for details. Metro PCS, wireless for all. Mets scored 3 in the first inning. David Wright doubled home the first one in his return. First pitch to Helms, a right-hand hitter. A fastball for a called strike 1. RBI single by Murphy. And a sac fly by Pagan made it 3-0, but infield out by Morrison, homer by Stanton. And now the 0-1 to Helms, off the outside corner, a fastball, 1-1. And then Bonifacio scoring from first on the hit and run single by Infante tied it, but the Mets took the lead back in the 4th inning. Beltran singled home the go-ahead run. 1-1 pitch, swung out and missed, a fastball, 1-2 to Helms. Steve Cishek, a right-hander, is throwing in the Florida bullpen. Helms hitting a .204 in 98 at-bats. And the 1-2 pitch. Fouled back over the screen. Another fastball from Pelfrey. That's baseball is brought to you by RE/MAX of New York. In today's challenging economy, you need to work with the best when it comes to buying and selling real estate. Nobody in the world sells more real estate than RE/MAX. Visit RE/MAX.com today, your foreclosure and short sale experts. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball just missed outside. He threw him a slider, a little on the slurvy side, but just missed that outside edge, and the count even 2-2. Outfield around towards right against Wes Helms. Here's the pitch. Fastball fouled back over the screen. Wes Helms is the player rep for the Florida Marlins. And when the Mets and Marlins were rained out at Citi Field back in May, he and his teammates were adamantly opposed to playing that makeup game this past week rather than part of a doubleheader. 2-2 pitch on the way. Fastball high, 3-2. Marlins have 2 more trips yet to New York, and they wanted to play one of those dates. But they didn't have that 20-day rule that would have blocked it. Payoff pitch on the way. Fastball chopped to short. Playing the third hop is Reyes, and he throws to first in time, 1 away. So the Marlins felt somewhat vindicated with their win Monday night. But they are going one very important person short tonight of the Florida Marlins, and that is their brilliant longtime radio voice, Dave Van Horn, who is going into the broadcasters department in the Hall of Fame this weekend, winner of the Ford C. Frick Award, and is at Cooperstown for the ceremonies, which will be on Sunday. Emilio Bonifacio, switch hitter, batting left the hitter. First pitch, splitter for a called strike, 0-1. Dave Van Horn was the original voice of the Montreal Expos when they broke in 1969. 0-1 to count. Now the pitch, and it's chopped foul off a photo cage next to the Mets dugout on the third base side, 0-2. And as the Montreal Expos were winding down their stay in Montreal, things had gotten so bad there that they did not have an over-the-air English language radio broadcast one year. There's the 0-2. Fastball foul down the third base line, out of play, 0-2. And so for that one season, which I believe was the 2000 season, Dave actually did the Marlins games on internet only. And after that year, left to come here to the Marlins and become their radio voice. The 0-2 on the way. Fastball high, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And quite frankly, he is one of the very best who's ever done it, and we salute him.
Absolutely, we do. He's a good friend, and we admired him when he went through that tough time in Montreal.
1-2 pitch, a slider down and in, 2-2.
You know, here he is, used to doing broadcasts like we were, and of course it was the same location. He was in the same booth, but he knew it was different. The internet in 2000 was a lot different than it is in 2011, but he didn't say a single word about it.
2-2 pitch, splitter, swung on and missed, strike 3. And Mike Pelfrey has his second strikeout. 2 men away. By the way, we have a little bit of an update on Johan Santana. who has been working out in Port St. Lucie, hopeful of getting back sometime this season. Well, he just got here to the ballpark. He's supposed to come here at some point over the weekend and pay a visit. And will be in the dugout shortly, we're told. First pitch to Omar Infante is a fastball for a called strike as he shows bunt 0-1. So he's just basically here to say hi to the guys, get reacquainted a little bit. The 0-1 and a breaking ball in for a called strike 2.
And a big reason why he has not been in New York to see the ball club, he didn't want to be a distraction to them because he knew he'd be the focus.
Now the 0-2 pitch on the way. Fastball low outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. In fact, David Wright was joking with us before the game that he faced Santana in some of Johan's first BP sessions from the mound. 1-2 pitch, fastball low, 2-2. Said he got him once, took him deep once, and then he kind of got David a couple of times too. But he says he's not, you could tell he's not quite where he needs to be. 2-2 on the way. Fastball foul down the right field line, out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes. From the standpoint of, you know, the mechanics look right. The ball's not quite coming out of his hand the same way in terms of everything that it does, and that's to be expected at this stage after a very serious shoulder injury. 2-2 pitch hit high in the air, deep to left field, down the line, hooking towards the pole, and it is a foul ball, and not by much. Omar Infante had plenty of distance, but hooked it just outside the foul pole. And Mike Pelfrey can take a deep breath, leading in this game 4-3 with 2 out, nobody on in the 5th inning. And the count still 2-2, just a couple of feet foul. So back to work, the 2-2 pitch in the dirt, ball 3, missed with fastball. So a full count now on Infante with Logan Morrison, a left-hand hitter, on deck. Now Pelfrey with a payoff pitch, and it's pulled on the ground left side. Reyes in the whole field, so he'll have no play, just holds on to the ball, and safe at first with an infield single is Omar Infante. Sounded like he broke his bat, and he picks up the 4th Florida hit, his 2nd of the game, and that'll bring up Logan Morrison. So just when it looked as though Pelfrey might be able to work a perfect inning, the infield single by Infante, and now he will slow things down, because when Mike Pelfrey works from the stretch, he becomes extremely deliberate. And every pitch almost feels like Armageddon. Taking his time, and now the throw to first, and this is what Pelfrey does.
And it's with that runner at first base much more than it is even a guy in scoring position at second base leading off. He just cannot stop from staring over there at first base.
And the thing of it is, he's got to get Logan Morrison here regardless. First pitch on the way, breaking ball low outside, 1-0. What I mean by that is, even if Infante were to steal second base, you're not walking Morrison to get to the next hitter, Hanley Ramirez, even though Morrison's a left-hand batter. So really, Pelfrey needs to devote his full attention to the hitter here. 1-0 the count. Now the pitch. Fastball hit on the ground to short. A roller. Reyes has it. Throws to first in time. Side retired. And Pelfrey did what he needed to do there. Gets Morrison, and that ends the inning. No runs, a hit, 1 left at the end of 5. The Mets 4, the Marlins 3 on the WFAN Mets Radio Network. We head to the 6th inning. The Mets lead the Marlins 4-3. The Marlins have a new pitcher on the mound, and the Mets have a veteran pitcher they're delighted to see in their dugout, Wayne.
Well, let's go to the one they're delighted to see most. I just, with The monitor in here, we were able to watch it during the commercial break, how everybody in that dugout, some being a bit surprised, Ken Obergfeld, the bench coach, looking up and getting a big hug from Johan Santana. So he is here in the house providing a little bit of inspiration, which he always did. When he wasn't pitching, he was a great cheerleader for this ball club. When he was on the mound, he was as good as they get. But everybody's saying hello to Johan Santana. Steve Cishek is the new pitcher. He's a right-hander who will deal it to Jose Reyes, who promptly swings at the first pitch and pops it up way down the left field line, and it's going to drop in for a hit, and he's hustling into second base and stands there as the left fielder Logan Morrison was watching the shortstop Hanley Ramirez come out, and that's the left fielder's ball. That is so deep down that left field line. That's all Morrison's, and it dunks in for a double. And Jose Reyes is safe and secure at second base. Help keep your family safe and secure. 166 years of financial strength. New York Life Insurance Company can help ensure your loved ones will always be taken care of. Find out more at NewYorkLife.com. It's almost like Reyes knew that was going to happen. I don't know. Can you blame Hanley Ramirez for racing out there as far as he did? Absolutely not. It's Morrison's job to call him off. It was his ball all the way. And the Mets will take full advantage because they've got their speedster out there at second base. And Justin Turner trying to move the runner along. Here's the pitch, and it's inside, ball one.
And it's either raining or it's just about to rain. I'm looking into the lights, and I don't see anything coming down yet. I've seen a lot of lightning. And because of that, at the very least, fans are starting to head for cover here. And they know this weather pretty well, so if they're all walking back, we're going to get a downpour any minute, I have a feeling.
Turner 1 out of 2 and a walk, and a fastball is inside. It's not quite sidearm, but he drops down a bit, Cishek does. Guy who's pitched well over his last 7 relief appearances. Earned his first win of his career July 2nd at Texas. He started auspiciously for this ball club with a club record. The pitch on the way, and his sinker is low. So Justin Turner has worked the count in his favor at 3 balls and no strikes. What he did at the start of his career was 16 consecutive scoreless innings, along the lines of Pedro Beato in many ways. Well, the right-hander ready. Looks to second. He now delivers. A fastball taken for a strike. He'll throw it 92 miles an hour. The top of the 6th inning brought to you by Top Gear, which returns for an all-new season tomorrow night, July 24th at 10 on History. Now the stretch. Cishek takes a look at second. Big lead by Jose Reyes got his attention. I was wondering how long it would take for Johan Santana to track down the head trainer Ray Ramirez, who he had to spend so much time with in spring training. So they're kibitzing in the dugout. Pitch on the way. Bounding ball to the right side. Charging on a short hop is the first baseman Sanchez. Now retreats to the bag and gets the out of Turner. He does move Reyes into scoring position at third. The Mets are leading 4-3 and trying to build that lead back up again. They had a 3-0 lead at one time. Here's Carlos Beltran. Beltran, an RBI single his last time up. He's 1 for 2 in a walk, and he has scored a run.
And here comes the rain.
Well, that's so much for what the meteorologist said last night when giving us the news, saying that it was going to be a rain-free weekend. The pitch is low and inside, ball one. It's never rain-free when we come to Florida, ever. They had a healthy downpour yesterday. What was it, almost a 2.5-hour rain delay yesterday between the Padres and the Marlins. The pitch fouled out of play, a fastball with the infield drawn in. You know what was interesting about that game yesterday? Javier Vasquez started the game. They had the 2.5-hour delay, and he came back and pitched. And he talked Jack McKeon into it. Pitch to Beltran very high, almost sent it to the backstop. Coming out of his crouch was John Buck, the catcher. Reyes is the runner at third base. We mentioned the infield not only in, but they have to actually play almost everybody on the grass because of the speed of Reyes. That's how differently they have to play it here. The pitch to Beltran, swung on and slugged foul off to the left. A 93-mile-per-hour fastball, and he had a good rip. Beltran with 62 RBIs. coming off a homestand where he hit .417, trying to carry it over to the road. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him with a breaking ball down near the ankles, low and in. And he strikes out Beltran. Now the infield can back up to its normal position. And now the pressure will shift 50-50 to the hitter and the pitcher. And David Wright is the batter. An RBI double in his first at bat. Struck out in the second. Flied to right his last time up. Grounds crew is at the ready. Down the left field line, they're in the bullpen. And they're congregating. Here's the pitch. And it's a little bit low. A fastball, ball one. A lot more fans are moving as we're getting lightning bolts all over the place. Here's the 1-0. And it's outside. He threw him a slider. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mets baseball tonight brought to you by Dodge and your local Dodge dealer. Fall in love with driving again. They are Dodge and they are never neutral. Right waiting on the next serve. Here it comes. Fastball foul back to the backstop. Got a little jammed on that one. And the count 2-1. Don't have a lot of folks at the ballpark tonight. They're heading for some cover. Here's the pitch. Fastball up and in. Count of 3 balls and a strike to David Wright.
This is what's held this franchise back, among other things, from having better attendance figures since they moved here or came here as an expansion team in 1993.
3-1 pitch. Wright swings and misses on a fastball, and it's 3-2.
You know, I mean, it's a terrible facility in the sense that there's really no place to go for cover. You can climb into the second deck. There are a few rows there that are under an overhang, but that's about it. At least if you still want to watch the game.
Cishek is ready. Comes set at the belt. Here's the right-hander's pitch. Swing and a miss on a fastball. He got him. And so a leadoff gift double for Jose Reyes. He was left stranded at third base with the only hit of the inning. Mets have left 7 on the bases. We played 5.5 with the score. It is the Mets 4 and the Marlins 3 at the WFAN Mets Radio Network.
Let's go, Mets!
Mets jumped out early 3-0. An RBI double by David Wright, followed by an RBI single by Daniel Murphy. Sacrifice fly by Angel Pagan. It was 3-0 before Mike Pelfrey had to throw a pitch. He gave up a run in the first, another in the second on a home run by Mike Stanton. Gave up his 3rd run in the 3rd inning, but has had a scoreless 2 innings, and he goes to work here in the 6th with a 4-3 advantage and delivers a fastball strike to Hanley Ramirez. Ramirez has grounded out to short and walked in this one. Mets with a total of 9 hits. The Marlins have but 4. The pitch, fastball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gabby Sanchez and Mike Stanton to follow. The announced crowd, 21,304. The kick and the pitch. Slider outside. 2 balls and a strike to Ramirez. The out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by Acela Express, where you can plug in and work or sit back and relax. Book now at Amtrak.com. One final in the National League at Wrigley earlier. Cubs scored 4 times in the 5th and beat Houston 4-2. Alfonso Soriano, a home run. Good breaking ball over for a strike. That's his curve, and it's 2-2 to Hanley Ramirez. Good pitch by Pelfrey. That was the first home run in 29 games for Soriano. He'd really been in a slump power-wise. Aramis Ramirez also homered. Carlos Zambrano his 7th win in that game. Philadelphia leading 3-1 over the Padres in the 7th inning at Citizens Bank. The pitch. Swing and a miss on a soft breaking ball, and Ramirez almost spun himself into the ground swinging so hard. It's a strikeout. It's the 3rd of the night for Mike Pelfrey, and Gabby Sanchez coming up 0 for 2. St. Louis 5, Pittsburgh 2 in the top of the 6th inning. The Pirates began the day with a percentage point lead on Milwaukee in that full game over St. Louis. Here's a swing and a towering drive to deep left field. This one is going, and it is gone. A home run by Gabby Sanchez after he had just struck out. Hanley Ramirez, the first pitch he serves up to Gabby Sanchez, has tied this game, and it's the 18th home run allowed by Pelfrey this season. It's 4-4 here in Miami.
That was a no-doubter. Held tie right out over the middle of the plate.
Too many home runs for Pelfrey. Mike Stanton, who homered the opposite way against the back of the second inning and walked, stands in. And the pitch. Fastball inside, ball one. Atlanta and Cincinnati. Well, the Reds were down 3-1, but they just scored 3 times in the 6th inning. They take a 4-3 lead. Cozart, Lewis, and Stubbs have all homered for the Reds in that one. The pitch, fastball, foul back. They're getting some pretty good swings against Pelfrey here. Jason Hayward, Brian McCann have homered for the Braves in that one. Arizona plays host to the Rockies. Dodgers taking on Washington. San Francisco and the Brewers get together in the city by the bay. Here's the 1-1. Swing a bounty ball to third base. Charging gloving is David Wright. Throws out Stanton at first base, and there are 2 gone. Brian Peterson coming up 0 for 2. Yankees scored 5 runs in the second against Trevor Cahill and knocked him out with a 9 spot in the third. 14-5. Yankees leading the A's at Yankee Stadium, bottom of the 4th. Nick Swisher, Mark Teixeira homering. Teixeira a grand slam. Chicago, Cleveland scoreless through 3. Angels and Baltimore scoreless through 6. And the pitch up and in, a fastball, ball 1 to Peterson. Boston 2, Seattle 1, top of the 6th inning. Jacoby Ellsbury is homered. John Lackey on the mound against King Felix Hernandez. The pitch. It's on the outside corner for a strike. Fastball. Texas 2, Toronto nothing through 2. Kansas City 3, Tampa Bay 1, bottom of the 2nd. And Detroit has taken a 2-0 lead on Minnesota in the bottom of the 2nd. The pitch. That's a called strike. That looked like the splitter. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pelfrey looks in, now ready, winds and delivers a swing and a foul at the plate. Got a piece of that fluttering little splitter that he throws for his off-speed pitch.
Rain's getting heavier now.
Yeah, it's coming in from an angle, too. And those fans who had been hanging around are starting to head for cover. Pelfrey in the middle of the diamond looks in for the sign. He's ready for the 1-2 pitch, and here she comes. Swing and a smash on a couple of hops. And stop to his left. A sliding stop by Turner, and he throws out Peterson to end the 6th inning. Well, that was a good play by Turner going to his left on a hard hit ball. But in the inning, there was the home run by Gabby Sanchez. That was the lone hit, nobody left on. And at the end of 6, we're tied at 4-4 here in Miami on the WFAN Mets Radio Network. Coming down pretty hard right now here in Miami, but the umpires have been told by the grounds crew that it's a passing shower with a whole lot of rain. So they're going to continue on. The outfield shifting now as the left fielder Logan Morrison and the center fielder Brian Peterson have been chatting out there in center field. And Daniel Murphy leads it off here in the 7th of the game, tied at 4. And Daniel Murphy takes a fastball strike from Steve Cishek in relief of Chris Volstad. Murphy tonight 1 out of 3. Here's the pitch and a fastball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Murphy driving in his 41st run earlier. Now the pitch. And the fastball runs outside. 2-1. Murphy's average at .305. He's a real guess hitter. But I think in many respects you could say that about any hitter. But he definitely is a guess hitter. Takes the pitch outside. That's why we see so many weird swings from him at times when he's anticipating, for example, perhaps an off-speed pitch of some sort. Remember, he has that quick little one-handed swing. That's on fastballs that he's fooled by. The pitch on the way. A fastball is outside, and he has issued a leadoff walk here in the 7th. The Mets need some insurance because they have stranded 7. They left a man in scoring position in the 1st inning, left 2 in scoring position in the 2nd, yet another at third base in the 4th, and another at third base in the 6th inning. They could very easily have a much bigger lead in this game. They had a 3-0 lead, then 4-3. Now it's tied at 4. So they just have not been able to push the Marlins away from the table. Batter is Angel Pagan. Bluffs a bunt, takes the pitch low, ball 1. Bonifacio, tough guy to bunt on because not only is he fast with his foot speed, but he is very low to the ground there at third base. He's already playing in on the grass. He'd be very difficult to surprise and get a bunt without getting some kind of a play on you at first base. Now the pitch. A bunt up the first base side, foul. In fact, he tipped it back over his head and back behind the plate on the first base side. And it's 1-1. Now, if he's up there to sacrifice, it was not a good bunt by Pagan, who considers himself a good bunter. So good, in fact, that he was offering his services to the pitching corps on how to bunt. The best way to do it is to show you, not tell you. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. He's squaring, and he bunts it out in front of the plate, deadens it a bit, picked up by the pitcher, who throws late, throws it down the right field line. Murphy to third. The ball being picked up by Stanton. They're going to stop Murphy, and into second base goes Angel Pagan. So we'll see how they will score that. Not only is there an error, but it is going to be a hit because it looked like Pagan had beaten that throw to first base, and he did. So it's going to be a bunt single, and it is going to be an error on the pitcher who threw that wildly to the second baseman covering at first base. Safe and secure at second and third for the Mets. Help ensure your family's financial future is safe and secure. Contact your local New York Life insurance agent or visit NewYorkLife.com. Oh, Angel Pagan giving himself up and then gets a bunt single for his efforts. And now they are going to intentionally walk Lucas Duda to get to Ronnie Paulino, the former Marlin. So again, a bunt single and an error. There's ball 2 issued to Duda, who is 2 out of 3 tonight. They just want to go righty versus righty here with a matchup with Paulino, who's gone 1 for 3.
Well, now the wheels should start turning because we get down towards the bottom of the order. The Marlins get Edward Mujica up in the bullpen, a right-hander. And the Mets will be in position as intentional ball 4 is thrown to Duda to hit for Pelfrey following Paulino, should Paulino not get the run home.
Well, they're trying to get the lead again. And Paulino knows that a fly ball can get the job done. There's nobody out. Daniel Murphy, I thought, might score on that play, on that throw down the right field line. And when it ricocheted and it was finally picked up by Mike Stanton. I know he has a great arm, and Chip Hale was playing for a much bigger inning, so he held him there. But I thought he could have scored.
Well, he probably would have been involved in a very close play. I agree with you. And I think if I were to interpret Chip's thinking, he's thinking, you know, there's nobody out. We're getting down towards the bottom of the order. So if you make that out at the plate and then leave it up to the lower guys in the order, you might be asking for trouble. Right now, though, Jack McKeon is asking for the home plate umpire, Mike Everett. This is going to make a double switch.
Yeah, he's going to bring in Greg Dobbs. He's going to take the place of I think the second baseman, Bonifacio, might be moving here. Again, they're certainly not going to take him out of the ball game, but it is Dobbs who's going to come in and play third base. And we have a pitching change here in Miami. It is Edward Mujica comes on to do the pitching. They also make the change with Emilio Bonifacio, such a superb utility player in his day. Going from third base to center field. Ryan Peterson out. Greg Dobbs now at third base. More importantly, Ronnie Paulino is the batter. He swings at a first pitch fastball and fouls it straight back into the vacated seats below us. And the count 0-1. Mujica's been pitching very well. Since late May, he's 4-0 and a 1.44 ERA in 25 innings. So he can put a stop to things. Overall ERA at 2.85. Paulino, 1 out of 3. Here's the pitch to him. Swung on, slugged in the air to right center field. Bonifacio coming over. He will make the catch. Tagging at third is Murphy. He will head home. Pagan tags at second, advances to third, and the Mets take another lead in this game. It's 5-4 on a sacrifice fly by Ronnie Paulino, his 12th RBI of the year. So that is the first out and a fly ball into center. Anthony Harris is going to come up as a pinch hitter.
Yeah, big extra run at third now. The Marlins without a left-hander, ready for Willie Harris. So he'll face Mujica with an opportunity to get finally an extra run in here as the Mets have come right back once again after the Marlins tied the game. Second time in this game. The Mets have rebounded after the Marlins tied the game in the previous half inning.
Well, for Willie Harris, 259 average, a home run, 10 driven in. 5 for 31 as a pinch hitter. Swings and misses. They count 0-1. Mujica, very good off-speed pitch. In fact, that's 6 for 33 as a pinch hitter. But he's been playing a lot lately. We're going to see if those at-bats in those games have come to pay some dividends here tonight. Another fly ball can get that run in. Myriad of ways to score that runner from third base, Angel Pagan. A swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch. And it is 0-2. Oh, what a good-looking off-speed pitch that is. Looks like a splitter that he throws, a tumbling effect to it. And it's 0-2. Continues to rain ever so slightly here in Miami. Mets batting in the 7th. They have the lead, and here's the pitch. And a topper foul. Back of the plate. Well, Willie Harris taking the place of Pelfrey. And it's going to have to be the Mets bullpen to bring this one home tonight. And it'll start in the bottom of the 7th inning defensively.
And by the way, Jason Isringhausen is the closer tonight.
Working out of the stretch, Mujica, the kid from Venezuela, delivers an off-speed pitch, swung on and missed. Good splitter, and Harris strikes out. That's the last thing that the Mets had wanted from a hitter in that situation. You put the ball in play, and you've got a chance to bring in that runner. Well, it's going to be left up to Jose Reyes. And again, it is due to the runner at first, Pagan at third. A run is in. Mets leading 5-4. They have been wasting some great opportunities tonight. Reyes is 2 out of 4. The pitch. Fastball popped up. Foul ground for the third baseman coming over is Dobbs near the coaching box, makes the catch, and the inning is over. The Mets did get a run. There were just a total of, just one hit in the inning. The error helped a bit, but it could have been a much bigger inning, and the Mets strand 2. So we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. It is the Mets 5, the Marlins 4 on the WFAN Mets Radio Network. Pedro Beato makes his 35th appearance of the year. He's 2-1, 3.27 ERA. A great pickup as a Rule 5 pick from the Baltimore Orioles by the Mets. And he inherits a 5-4 lead. Bottom part of the order, John Buck. But remember, Greg Dobbs is a part of the double switch. Bats 9th in the order. And then Emilio Bonifacio. The pitch outside, ball 1 to John Buck. He has walked and he has grounded out. Mike Pelfrey has not won a game against the Florida Marlins since 2006. 13 consecutive starts without a win against them. He has a chance tonight if the bullpen brings it home. A line drive, base hit into left field, right over the left shoulder of David Wright, played back in by Duda. And John Buck says, take that. And he gets his first hit of the game. Now here comes Greg Dobbs. Dobbs has made his living as a player like this, the ability to come in, play defensively or pinch hit, and he has played very well for the Marlins. He's appeared in 82 games now and has a .298 average, 3 home runs and 26 driven in, and he's 7 for 18 as a pinch hitter, which is not the case here, as we mentioned, part of a double switch. But it is his first at bat. He's batting in the rain. The umpires have allowed this to continue on. It's not a downpour by any stretch, but it's a consistent rain. Well, here's Dobbs, the left-handed batter. Tying run at first. Bottom of the 7th. Beato works out of the stretch, delivers, and a swing and a drive into the gap, left center field. Duda on the move. He'll get there, reach up, make the catch. Throw that ball back in, son, and he does to Jose Reyes, and that's going to be out number 1, and holding it first is John Buck. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the WFAN Mets Radio Network. Wayne Hagan, Howie Rose down here in Miami as Emilio Bonifacio comes up. He's been trouble tonight. He's scored 2 runs. He's 1 out of 2 and a walk, has a stolen base, and he takes the offering low, ball 1, a 90-mile-per-hour fastball from Beato. Bonifacio was involved in a play back in inning number 3, making the reference to Duda throwing the ball in. He just got to get rid of that ball and get it back to an infielder as soon as possible. The pitch, look out, that nearly hit him. It goes to the backstop, and Paulino will track it down, and advancing into scoring position is John Buck by virtue of a wild pitch. A little giveaway on the part of Beato. That ball somehow eluded the feet of Bonifacio. Well, Paulino's going to go out and talk to Beato. Coming over from first base is Murphy. In from shortstop is Reyes. Bonifacio, meanwhile, with that rain coming in, takes that bat and tries to dry it off as much as he can with his pant leg. There are a scattered few remaining in this ballpark. They said yesterday the announced crowd was 27,000, and they said there might have been 1,200 people at the end of it. So Beato has to work with 1 out and a runner at second base, and the pitch to the red-hot Bonifacio is low. Another fastball, and he has fallen behind in the count, 3-0 to Bonifacio, who has a 21-game hitting streak. On deck, Omar Infante, the veteran. Beato's pitch is on the way. Fastball strike. 3-1. Bonifacio taking all the way. Buck is the runner at second base. He's a catcher. Not exceptional speed whatsoever. Beato checks him with a glance. Here's the pitch, and it's low, and he walks him on another fastball. So runners at first and second. A single and a walk, and the wild pitch in between. And Infante, who has 2 hits and 3 tries, is coming to the plate. Dan Worthen's heading to the mound. Carlos Beltran wears number 15, and in just 15 minutes, you can save 15% or more on your car insurance. Visit Geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO today for your free rate quote. Hit a home run with Geico. Beltran on the night, a walk and a run scored, 1 for 3 with an RBI single. Well, that rain just continues to be steady. Worth in a quick meeting. Back to the third base dugout he goes. Clay Hensley against Chris Capuano tomorrow night. Game 2 of this series. Series will conclude on Sunday, and then the Mets will head to Cincinnati for the first time. Dylan G against Anibal Sanchez on Sunday. So the meeting has taken place. Now the execution comes. on the part of the Mets defense. It begins with Beato, who fires it home, and he misses low with a sinker. Ball one. Beato bent over at the waist as he peers in for the sign from Paulino. The pitch is on the way, and he misses low again with another fastball. 2-0 to count. They've got Bobby Parnell warming along with Tim Burdack at the bullpen. Some anxious moments for the Mets. They have had 3 different leads tonight. They relinquished 2 of them. Now leading 5-4 in the bottom of the 7th. Now the pitch. And he got it over for a strike in the outside corner. 2-1. Infante has worn out the Mets in his career. He's a .350 lifetime hitter coming into this game tonight and has collected 2 more hits. Beato needs a ground ball. Here's the pitch. Swing and a tapper foul off the batter. And the count is now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Beato sets. Now looks at second and delivers, and the pitch is up and in. He nearly hit him. And that's going to be ball 4, although the runners don't know it. It's ball 4, and they'll have to move up an additional 90 feet. Terry Collins says Beato is done for the night. And he is going to go to the bullpen, and it will be Tim Burdack to face the left-handed batting Logan Morrison when we come back. The bases will be loaded, 1 out, 5-4 Mets. This call to the bullpen brought to you by the Communications Workers of America. Put people before profits at CWA1104. Tim Burdack against left-handed batters has surrendered to a .241 average. So not as overpowering as you would like for being the only left-hander in the bullpen. But he comes on to face Logan Morrison with Hanley Ramirez waiting out on deck. You don't want him to get up to the plate. Morrison with the bases loaded. Buck at third, the tying run. Bonifacio at second, Infante at first. And the first delivery is over for a strike. A first pitch fastball. And it's 0-1. 5-4 Mets leading. Bottom of the 7th inning. Morrison has hit the ball on the ground on 3 different occasions, but all of that against Mike Pelfrey. He's facing the lefty here. The pitch by Burdack. Swung on, broke a bat, line drive into center, sinking fast. Here comes Pagan making the catch, tagging at third, and heading home is the runner. John Buck is safe because the ball eludes Ronnie Paulino, and it's backed up by Burdack. The tying run will score on a throw-in by Angel Pagan, and he had the catcher running at third and could not throw him out. It's tied at 5.
Well, you've got to be able to make a much better throw than that. Now, Pagan admittedly was charging in hard, but he was in such a shallow center field that the fact that it took 2 hops for the ball to get to the mound and then slowed down and rolled towards the plate is what cost Pagan that play.
So the sacrifice fly is the second out. And Bonifacio moved to third. The runner's still at first. And here comes Bobby Parnell. This call to the bullpen brought to you by Metro PCS. Now, the last time that Bobby Parnell worked was in that walk-off win by the Mets 6-5 over the Cardinals in the second game of that series. And he gave up a run on 2 hits and also had a wild pitch in the 8th inning of that game. So Parnell will be facing Hanley Ramirez. I had said that Bonifacio had advanced to third. He had not, even though he was standing over there. He has returned to second, which is odd that he didn't make it to third base. And over at first base is Infante. And Bonifacio is a very fast runner. Parnell will work to Hanley Ramirez, who on the night has gone 0 for 2 and a walk. 5-5 is a score. Pelfrey will go 14 starts without a win against the Marlins. Now Parnell picked off Bonifacio, but nobody was defending and he couldn't throw. Nobody was there, but he sure had Bonifacio way off the bag. Pretty good spin move on the part of Parnell, but unfortunately he had nobody to throw to. Hanley Ramirez is the batter. Dangerous. Here's the pitch. Fastball. That's laced down the right field line. Foul. Slicing well out of play. And it's 0-1. He was a little late on that fastball. By the way, the Marlins tonight, they've never had the lead, but they do come back. They've been resilient, unlike that series against the San Diego Padres, where they never had a lead in any inning in that 3-game sweep by San Diego. Parnell looks at second. Here's his pitch. Fastball fouled out of play off to the right, so he's come right after Hanley Ramirez. 0-2 the count. Mike Pelfrey gave up 4 runs on 5 hits in his 6 innings. Handed over a 5-4 lead to the bullpen, and Pedro Beato gave up a hit. He had a wild pitch and walked 2. And has surrendered a run so far. 5-5 in the 7th. The pitch, fastball just outside. 97-mile-per-hour heater, and the home plate umpire, Mike Everett, just would not give in to him. Oh, that pitch is right there in the corner. Well, Paulino walking out to try to go over the next set of pitches, perhaps, to Hanley Ramirez and try to settle him down. That was a tailing fastball. That was a terrific pitch made by Parnell. I think Hanley Ramirez even knows he got away with one there. So he's thrown him nothing but fastballs. 1 ball and 2 strikes. A run home, Infante at first, Bonifacio the runner at second. Parnell, if he's going to be a closer someday, has to put away Hanley Ramirez right here. This is what he'll have to do in the future. Here's the kick, and he's again whirling towards second with nobody defending there, and he just bluffed Bonifacio back. You're a closer, and you're ahead 1-2 with 2 outs to the other team's best hitter. I would forget about that runner at second base. You have the hitter where you want it. Those are those little things that Parnell's going to have to learn.
That was the point before about Parnell with a runner at first base and a hitter he knew he was going to have to get.
Tucks that glove up on his left thigh very high as he stares in for the sign, nods in agreement. Now ready for the 1-2 with 2 on and 2 out in a tie game. 5-5. Here it comes. Bounces it to the plate. Knocked down by Paulino. That is not the pitch you want to be throwing. A slider right into the ground.
Remember, Wayne, in the 5th inning when Infante had gotten on via the infield hit with 2 out, and then immediately Pelfrey starts throwing over there. The point being, even if Infante had stolen second, they weren't going to walk Logan Morrison to get to Hanley Ramirez. The guy he had to get was the guy in the batter's box, Morrison. Just as the same equation applies now for Ramirez.
Seems like a lot more, but there's only been 1 hit, a single in this inning. Runners at first and second, 2 outs. And a 2-2 pitch coming to Hanley Ramirez from Bobby Parnell. Here it comes. Fastball bounced on 2 hops to second base. Turner has it, turns over, and flips it to Jose Reyes. They get the force out at second on Infante. And Bobby Parnell got the last out to keep this game tied. 1 run, 1 hit, 2 runners left on, and at the end of 7, it's the Mets 5, Florida 5 of the WFAN Mets Radio Network. New York's premier personal injury firm reminds you that this copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of Sterling Mets, may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Sterling Mets. Well, the grounds crew out here to work on home plate and the mound. Those are the only 2 areas that they worked on because of that rain. Brett Hayes, by the way, has come in as a catcher now. As it does continue to rain rather softly here in Miami. But Edward Mujica will continue on here in the 8th. Geico wants you to know that a 15-minute phone call can save you 15% or more on your car insurance. Call 1-800-947-AUTO. Mets and the Marlins tied at 5-5. We just did a disclaimer, Howie. In many ways, we could do a disclaimer that this hasn't really been a well-played game.
No, it hasn't. And the Mets have hurt themselves by leaving 11 runners on base through the first 7 innings. Remember, they had the bases loaded. Nobody out in the 7th, and the best they could do was a sacrifice fly by Ronnie Paulino to get 1 run home. And then Pedro Beato gave up a run, bailed out of further damage by Bobby Parnell. So tie game as we head to the 8th inning, and the rain, which had pretty much stopped for about 10 minutes, has picked up again, and the Mets have to deal with Edward Mujica, who has more wins than any reliever in the league. He has won 8 games, and he's the pitcher of record right now in this tie game, as is Bobby Parnell. The bullpens for the moment are quiet, and the Mets will have Justin Turner, Carlos Beltran, and David Wright up here in the 8th inning. Mets about hit the Marlins 10-6. First pitch is taken on the outside corner. A fastball, no balls, and 1 strike. Turner has 1 for 3. Single to right, walked it into a fielder's choice, and grounded to first. Mujica from the stretch deals. Breaking ball swung on and fouled off at home plate. And quickly, no balls and 2 strikes on Justin Turner. We're coming to you live from the Peerless Boilers broadcast booth. Remember, Peerless builds America's best boilers. Outfield around towards right, and the 0-2 to Turner. Breaking ball into dirt. Caroms off of the catcher Hayes. In defensively for his first inning of work. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes now on Turner. Night game tomorrow, and then day game on Sunday before the Mets go on to Cincinnati. 1-2 the count. Now the pitch, and a fastball missed inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 91-mile-an-hour fastball from Sleepy Mujica, who has made a bit of a habit of taking naps in the bullpen. Once TV cameras capture you doing that, forget it. 2-2 pitch, bounce foul right into the Mets dugout on the third base side. Now they're putting signs on him in the bullpen that says, please, they say, please do not disturb, or things to that effect. Mujica's been with the Indians and the Padres. This is first year with Florida. And now the 2-2 to Turner. Fouled off to the right. A fastball. And back upstairs behind first base, where it will sit untouched with the upper deck closed off here. That was one of the saddest things in the history of Shea Stadium. Those couple of years in the late 70s when they shut the entire upper deck off. Put the general admission in the mezzanine. 2-2 pitch, fastball outside, ball 3. So a full count now to Justin Turner in this 5-5 game. Mets have led 3-0, 4-3, and 5-4, but the Marlins have been coming back all night. And now Mujica with a payoff pitch to Turner. And it's popped up foul back into the seats behind first base yet again. This one on the lower level. Once the Miami Dolphins start playing preseason games here, this becomes a very difficult field for the players to play on because the hops cease to become true. Payoff pitch to Turner. High, ball 4. He missed badly with a fastball. And the Mets put the leadoff man on here in the 8th inning. That is a total now of 6 walks allowed by Florida pitching. And Mets pitchers have walked 6. So 12 bases on balls in this game. And now the Mets contingent among the paid crowd of 21,304 put the vocal cords to work. And as Beltran steps in, he's got 1 out of 3 with a walk and a run scored. An RBI single in the 4th. First pitch. Taken low, 1 ball and no strikes.
Talk about leadoff walks. That's the 5th time in this game that the leadoff man has walked. 3 times for the Mets, twice for the Marlins.
Neither side has been retired in order all night. Not a once. And the walk to Turner keeps it going. Mujica sets. Here's the 1-0 to Beltran. It's high. A fastball. Ball 2. So 2-0 with David Wright on deck. And Mujica starting to dig a little trouble for himself here. Now sets. Here's the pitch. Fastball called strike of the knees. And the count 2-1. Mets baseball is brought to you by RE/MAX of New York. In today's challenging economy, you need to work with the best when it comes to buying and selling real estate. Nobody in the world sells more than RE/MAX. 2-1 pitch, breaking ball in the dirt, ball 3.
Left-hander Randy Choate starts to loosen up. He's thrown 2 baseballs so far.
That would be for Daniel Murphy, who hits behind David Wright in the order. But right here, it's 3-1 to Beltran with Turner at first and nobody out. Now Mujica sets. Throws to first. Closer play than it needed to be because Turner was wandering a bit, but he dives back in.
Can't get picked off on a 3-1 count.
Well, the side-arming Randy Choate tries to loosen in a hurry. 3-1 to Beltran. Outfield deep and straight away. Another throw to first, and Turner that time scampered back standing, and again, it was a closer play than it should have been. Turner knocking some dirt out of his spikes. Takes a somewhat smaller lead. Another throw over, and Turner dives back in. Well, a quick throw to be sure by Edward Mujica, but Turner's asking for trouble here. And it's not that he's moved out to such a huge lead either, but he's got to be aware that Mujica's not coming set. And obviously, that's what Mujica wants. It's not always about picking him off. It's buying a step. And now another throw, and Turner back standing.
They're doing this because Randy Choate is warming up and wasn't properly warmed up to get to Murphy on a 3-1 if Beltran were to get aboard. So this is coming from the bench, forcing him to take up some time for Choate.
Now the 3-1 pitch. Fouled back to the screen by Beltran. Now remember, the on-deck hitter is David Wright, a right-hand batter, and then you go to Murphy. So Choate should have a little more time than to have to rush it that much when you consider that part of the attributes a reliever needs is to be able to get ready quickly. Now Turner runs, and the pitch to Beltran popped up, foul, outside third. Could be playable over by the tarp, but Dobbs runs out of room. It's out of play. And Turner back to first with a full count. You know, when you start wondering, could so-and-so who's been a starter work out of the bullpen, they ask you a couple of things. Can you get ready in a hurry? Can you pitch multiple days in a week? You know, can you pitch 2-3 days in a row? So 3-2 will Turner run again. There he goes. Payoff pitch fouled back to the screen. A 93-mile-an-hour fastball. And that's brought to you by Time Warner Cable. Switch to Roadrunner Broadband Turbo and hit warp speed every time you go online. So, Turner's had quite a workout since drawing that leadoff walk. He'll probably be going again on 3-2. He does. And the pitch line down the right field line, deep towards the corner. It is a foul ball, and not by much at all. Maybe a foot. Beltran just got out in front. Now, there's a lot of foul territory here down the lines. And if that ball had hit fair, it had some room to roll away from Stanton, the right fielder. I would say if it was a foot, it wasn't anything much more than that. Meaning how far it was fouled. So again, Turner back to first. Should be running. He is. Payoff pitch. Hit in the air. Right center field. Going back Bonifacio. He'll have a play right on the warning track. Makes the catch. Turner's got to get back to first. Looked like he touched second as he had rounded the bag and goes all the way back to first base as Beltran hits a 400-foot out into the glove of Emilio Bonifacio. One man away.
Well, the scouts who are watching Beltran will mark that down because that's a home run in some ballparks, but it was just too down for him to kind of produce enough in the air to have it carry over that wall.
So, one away. And David Wright will be the batter. David, in his first at-bat since the 15th of May, doubled sharply down the right field line in the first inning. He's 1 for 4 on the night with an RBI. First pitch. Fastball outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Well, now Randy Choate should be more than ready for the on-deck hitter, Daniel Murphy. And behind Murphy, you've got Pagan, a switch hitter, and then Duda, a left-hand batter. 1-0 the count. Now the pitch to David. Line to right field. That is a base hit. Hugs the line. Goes to the corner. Turner on his way to third. Stanton up with the ball. Turner's going to be waved in. In front, his relay throw to the plate is high. And Turner slides in safely. Wright goes to third. The Mets are leading by a score of 6-5.
How many times has Chip Hale done that where you don't expect it? Remember that Turner had run several times between first and second on those 3-2 pitches to Beltran. Not to say he's winded, but he's run a lot. And he had him score all the way from first, and Stanton has a great arm. Infante, if he has a better and a lower throw, they might have gotten him. But that was a great risk on the part of the third base coach, Chip Hale. And I'm telling you, that was a dogged effort on the part of Justin Turner.
You bet. But David Wright becoming a huge story in this game. He is driven in two. The Mets have a 6-5 lead. Here comes Randy Choate, the left-hander, to answer this call to the bullpen with the Mets leading 6-5 on the WFAN Mets radio. Randy Choate, the lefty, to face Daniel Murphy. Infield in, right at third. 6-5 New York, one out in the eighth. Choate's first pitch, breaking ball line, fair down the right field line. That'll get right home from third. Stanton chases it to the sidewall. Murphy goes to second. He'll stop there with a double and a run batted in. And the Mets now lead 7-5. The first pitch from Randy Choate, the lefty, to the lefty Daniel Murphy, is driven into right field for a run-scoring double.
Hanging breaking ball, and it looks like Murphy was looking for that one.
So, back-to-back doubles by Wright and Murphy. And it is 7-5 New York. And now Angel Pagan will be walked intentionally to get to left-hand hitting Lucas Duda. And then behind Duda, you've got the right-hand hitting catcher, Ronnie Paulino. And so the Marlins keep the bullpen hot. They've got Brian Sanchez, the right-hander, throwing now. So the Mets with two in here in the eighth inning. One man out. David Wright, 2 out of 5. Both doubles, 2 runs batted in. Hitting it sharply the other way twice. And now Scott Hairston has come out on deck to bat for Duda. And let's see if Sanchez is ready. Should Jack McKeon want to go back to his bullpen? Intentional ball 4 has been delivered. Hairston about to be announced. Jack McKeon is going to make a move. He's just standing right now in the Florida dugout waiting for the PA guy to make the announcement. And before doing that, he sends his catcher, Brett Hayes, out to the mound. That'll buy a couple of more pitches for Sanchez. And now as Hairston is announced, here comes McKeon. And he is going to his bullpen with the Mets leading 7-5 on the WFAN Mets Radio Network. Well, Jack McKeon keeps making change after change after change. He now brings Brian Sanchez, a right-hander, into the game, but he also calls on a former Met, Mike Cameron, to come in as part of a double switch. Well, the shocking part of the double switch is that the guy he's taking out of the game is Hanley Ramirez. A couple of years ago, the National League's batting champion, the cleanup hitter in this game. He made the last out. And so Sanchez will bat technically in the 4th position, although he's not coming up to hit anytime soon. And Mike Cameron bats 7th.
Emilio Bonifacio has started at third, played center, now he's playing at short. Talk about value.
So here is Scott Hairston to bat for Lucas Duda. And Sanchez with a breaking ball on the outside corner for strike 1. Well, Duda had a good night offensively with 2 for 3. And Hairston batting at .258, 5 homers and 19 RBIs. 7-5 New York. We're in the 8th. Now the pitch, swung on and missed a fastball. 0-2. Daniel Murphy is the runner at second. Angel Pagan the runner at first. The outfield is straight away against the right-hand hitting Hairston, who as a pinch hitter is just 5 for 31. 2 of those hits have been home runs. That's now with 12 hits to the Marlins 6. 7-5 New York. Now the 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball low outside. So 1 ball and 2 strikes on Hairston, who presumably will take over in left field when we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Jack McKeon's only got 1 man left on the bench. That's Dwayne Wise. 1-2 pitch. Slider swung on and missed strike 3. And Hairston down on strikes. So Sanchez strikes out the first batter he faces. 2 men away Ronnie Paulino coming up. So McKeon's got one guy among position players remaining on the bench in Dwayne Wise. And in the bullpen now, he's down to 3. His closer, Leo Nunez, Burt Badenhop, and
Lefty Mike Dunn. They're talking about Nunez
his trade bait with the deadline
coming up 9 days.
Here's Paulino. First pitch, slider on the outside corner. Strike one call. Ronnie 1 for 3 with a sacrifice fly. Inside the numbers, brought to you by the New York State Smokers Quit Line. Call 1-866-NY-QUITS for help quitting today. The 0-1 pitch, fastball, pop foul out of play, off to the right, 0-2. Mets hoping to continue their solid performance away from home. They are 5-1-1 in the last 7 road series that they've played, and they have had 3 straight winning road trips. This is the beginning of a
10-game trip.
Equaling their longest of the year.
0-2 the count. Now the pitch, and it's low outside. A breaking ball, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now the pitcher's spot is due up next. Jason Pridey is on deck to pinch hit. Ryota Igarashi is throwing in the bullpen. I don't know if he'll come into this game if they don't have to hit for Parnell. 1-2 on the way. Inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. A fastball to Paulino. Because Bobby Parnell only faced 1 batter in the 7th inning, and it was a big one, getting Hanley Ramirez to hit into that inning-ending fielder's choice as the Marlins left 2 men on after they had tied the game. 2-2 pitch. Paulino fouls it back to the screen. So I think, and again, it's just a guess based on logic, that the only way Igarashi gets in, at least to start the 8th inning, is if Paulino is retired here and they don't have to hit for Parnell. As Parnell right now is the 8th inning guy, and Isringhausen the closer. Runners lead, 2nd and 1st. Here's the 2-2 to Paulino. Outside, a breaking ball, ball 3. Didn't miss by much. So now with a count 3-2, that means Murphy from 2nd and Pagan from 1st will have automatic starts. The Mets with 2 runs in, trying to add to that. RBI doubles by Wright and Murphy have done the damage. Outfield around towards right now against Paulino. Runners take their leads. There they go. And the breaking ball hit on the ground slowly to 2nd. To his left, Infante's got it. Throws to 1st in time. Side retired. Mets take the lead again. They scored 2 runs. There were 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left. And in the middle of the 8th inning, it's the Mets 7 and the Marlins 5 on the WFAN Mets Radio Network.
Let's go Mets!
Scott Hairston, after pinch hitting for Lucas Duda and striking out, stays in the game in left field. Bobby Parnell remains on the mound. And with the Mets leading 7-5 as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, Gabby Sanchez, Mike Stanton, and Mike Cameron are due up for Jack McKeon's Marlins. McKeon wheeling and dealing with a lineup card the way he did with his roster when he was a GM. First pitch to Sanchez. Fastball inside 1-0. Gabby Sanchez with a home run in the 6th inning off of Mets starter Mike Pelfrey. That home run tied the game at 4. And now Parnell's 1-0 to the right-hand batter. Fastball at the knee. Strike 1 call.
Jack McKeon, as the general manager you're talking about with the Padres, was Trader Jack. 55 trades, 178 players involved.
1-1 on the way. Fastball missed outside, 2-1.
Seems like half of those have been used tonight. It's like a spring training game in many respects from the roster standpoint.
Now Parnell to the high set. And the 2-1 pitch, and on the ground to 3rd. Wright plays it off to his side. Sidearms to 1st. Wide throw. Murphy came off the bag, and Sanchez is safe. Murphy thought he got back to the bag in time, but the first base ump, Chris Guccione says no, and that should be a throwing error on David Wright, who played that ball off his left knee. And his throw was down the first base line towards right field. Oh, I think Murphy got that. Let's take a look from a different angle as we watch replays. And I think he was on the bag, Wayne.
Yeah, I think he was on the bag, and I think the runner, actually, Sanchez, slowed down. That's why he should have been out.
So, throwing error on David Wright. And Mike Stanton now represents the tying run of the plate. Parnell's first pitch. Fastball high, 1-0. So this now means 16 half innings in this game. And there hasn't been a clean one yet. There have been base runners on in every half inning. And now Parnell with a 1-0. Fastball inside, ball 2. 2-0. The out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by Major World. Major World in Queens has over 3,000 quality pre-owned cars. Call 1-800-MAJOR-AUTO or go to MajorWorld.com. Outfield very deep. The 2-0 pitch in the dirt. A fastball, ball 3. So now Parnell working into difficulty here. Not all his own doing after the error by Wright. The count 3-0 here to Stanton. Chicago beat Houston 4-2 this afternoon at Wrigley. Now the 3-0 pitch. High, ball 4. He missed badly with a fastball. Stanton walks on 4 pitches. And Mike Cameron, the former Met, will be the batter. First walk allowed by Parnell. And here comes Dan Warthen, the Mets pitching coach, to the mound. Cameron has had 28 at-bats for the Marlins with 4 hits. Just a 143 average, a homer and 4 RBIs. He had 94 at-bats with the Red Sox before they designated him for assignment. Then was picked up by the Marlins for either cash or a player to be named later. At 149 with the Red Sox. So I guess the question is then, will he be bunting here? Try and push the tying run into scoring position. Had a chance to catch up a bit with Mike before the game. He said when he was in Boston, when he played the field, he played right field, and that was it. And remember, that's a position he had to move to with the Mets after they signed Carlos Beltran as a free agent. That's where he suffered that very serious injury in San Diego. So the corners tighten up a bit. Cameron squares, and the pitch low outside, ball 1. He missed with a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Cameron said what made it particularly hard to play right field with the Red Sox was that, A, he wasn't playing every day, and right field at Fenway Park is tricky.
Very difficult.
Here's the 1-0. He squares, he bunts hard to first. Grabbed by Murphy. Fires to third. Out at third. They get the force play. Close play. But Sanchez is out at third on a fielder's choice. 3-5. 1 man out. Stanton goes to second. Cameron on at first.
Mike Winters made that call. He should have been out at first base in the first part of this inning. But I'll tell you, that's a really close play over there at third base. I get a better look. But the foot of David Wright kind of caused a problem for the slide. And, boy, I tell you, that's awfully close. It could have gone either way because Murphy, now as he is moved back from third base with that glove to the first baseman's mitt, it was a little more difficult for him to get that ball out of that glove to make that throw.
So the batter now is Brett Hayes for the first time. And he takes a breaking ball for a called strike, 0-1. Watching Murphy make that play reminded me in the slightest sense, more so because of the date than the play itself, because it wasn't close to being the same, to what the guy seated to my immediate left did on this date in 1986, Keith Hernandez. Parnell wheels to second without making a throw. This is actually the anniversary of one of the wildest games in Mets history. It was in 1986, and Keith Hernandez came charging from first base to field a bunt from the Reds pitcher and fired to third to initiate a double play, starting with a force at third. The 0-1 fastball popped up first base side along the line, infield fly rule, and foul ground. Murphy makes the catch, 2 men away. So many things of note happened in that game in Cincinnati. First of all, the third baseman was Gary Carter. I think if I had to go on memory, the pitcher was Ted Power for the Reds, but I'm not sure. And in an obvious sacrifice situation, he bunted Keith charged and fielded the ball. He was practically on top of power when he did so, and fired to third. Gary Carter, playing third base, accepted the throw for the force play, then threw on to first to finish a double play. That's the game where Jesse Orozco and Roger McDowell took turns between playing in the outfield and pitching, because the Mets were out of players after a bench-clearing brawl between Ray Knight and Eric Davis. What a game.
One-punch fight.
Yep. Mets won it, you bet. They won that in extra innings. Greg Dobbs, left-hand batter, swings and misses at a slider, 0-1. The Mets leading here 7-5.
Having seen that video of Ray Knight, I don't think I'd ever want to get him mad at me. And if he were mad at me, I'd be backing up, because that's a very quick right hand that he had on Eric Davis.
What a memorable game that was, and it never would have gone to extra innings except Dave Parker dropped an easy fly ball that would have been the final out of the game. 0-1 to Dobbs, outfield straight away. Parnell delivers, slider, in for a called strike. It's 0-2, a 90-mile-an-hour slider from Bobby Parnell. So he's gotten ahead with it. Now he can play around a little bit here. Greg Dobbs up for the second time. Flied out his first. 7-5 New York. Stanton at second. Cameron at first. 2 out in the 8th. Parnell sets. Now the 0-2 pitch. Slider again, but it's low inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. That 5 miles an hour slower than the previous slider. Phillies beat the Padres 3-1. St. Louis 6, Pittsburgh 4. Bottom of the 8th in Pittsburgh. Braves on a 9th inning homer by the former Marlin Dan Uggla beat the Reds 6-4 in Cincinnati. 1-2. Count to Dobbs. Parnell delivers. Slider, broken bat, looper behind third, right going back. He won't get it. Falls in for a hit. Around third, coming home to score is Stanton. Going all the way to third is Cameron, as the ball is fielded by Hairston. Staying at first with a bloop single and a run batted in is Greg Dobbs, and the Mets lead is now 7-6.
The only hit of the inning, and it's a shattered bat looper out over the head of David Wright. That's what happens when you walk people and you make errors.
Error by Wright started this inning. That and anything the Marlins get from here on in this inning, unearned. And so now Cameron, the tying run at third, Dobbs on at first. And here is Emilio Bonifacio, who's on a 21-game hitting streak, which he extended with a single in the first inning. He's walked twice, also struck out. He has stolen a base and scored twice. 7-6 New York. Runners lead from the corners, 2 out. Parnell sets first pitch. Fastball outside, 1-0. Remember, he had gotten in front of Greg Dobbs with 2 sliders. But Dobbs eventually won the battle with a broken bat blooper. And now the tying run 90 feet away. Marlins have been coming back all night. The 1-0 pitch. Fastball outside, ball 2. Omar Infante is the on-deck hitter. 12 hits for the Mets, 7 for the Marlins. Marlins have made 2 errors. The Mets have made 1, but the Mets have left 13 men on base, a huge part of this story. Parnell sets the 2-0. Fastball in for a called strike at the knees. It's 2-1. This game started just about 3 hours and 20 minutes ago, and we're in the bottom of the 8th inning. Mets pitchers have walked 7, as have Marlins pitchers. Parnell sets the 2-1 pitch. Outside, ball 3, missed with a fastball. And he walks Bonifacio. That pushed the go-ahead run into scoring position and would load the bases. The Mets bullpen is quiet right now. Would they dare think about a 4-out save for Isringhausen? Obviously not to this point, since he's not throwing, and there are 2 men out. 3-1 the count. Now the pitch to Bonifacio, swung on and missed a fastball at 98. Bobby said, see if he can hit this one.
Yeah, he cannot throw anything but a fastball here. Simply. The slider, that's going to be a good pitch for him, perhaps. But the fastball got him here, and that's what he needs to throw.
So 3-2 to Bonifacio. Dobbs will be running from first with 2 out. Now the pitch. Fastball foul back to the screen. That one clocked at 100 miles per hour. So Dobbs heads back to first base. Mike Cameron on at third. Marlins with 1 hit in the inning. They've been helped by an error by Wright and a walk to Stanton. 3-2 again. Dobbs will run on the payoff pitch. It's on the way, and it's in there for a called strike 3. He got him with an 89-mile-an-hour slider. So Bonifacio fouled the fastball back on 3-2. And then Parnell throws him with a breaking ball, and the inning is over. Marlins settle for 1 run, unearned, 1 hit, 1 error, 2 left at the end of 8. It's the Mets 7, the Marlins 6 on the WFAN Mets Radio Network. Well, Bobby Parnell will come out of the game for a pinch hitter as we go to the 9th inning. It is 7-6 New York. It's Jason Pridey to bat for Parnell, and the first pitch by Brian Sanchez is a fastball for a called strike 1. Pridey hitting a .227, 3 homers, 14 runs batted in, 3 for 14 as a pinch hitter. Jason Isringhausen gets ready. Pitch outside, ball 1. A fastball, 1 ball and 1 strike. On Pridey to be followed by Reyes and Turner. And remember now, when we go to the bottom of the 9th inning, the Marlins will have 2, 3, and 4 in their order, but there's a huge but. The 1-1 taken outside a fastball, 2-1. We voiced our great surprise when Hanley Ramirez was double shifted out of this game, or double switched. Double shifts are still about 3 months away. 2-1 to Pridey. Now the pitch, a fastball high and outside, ball 3. Although the way this game's going, it might converge with opening night in the NHL. But when they double switched Ramirez out of the game, that sure raised our eyebrows, taking your cleanup hitter out. Now 4th place is due up. 3-1 to Pridey, lifted in the air to pretty deep right field. Going back Stanton. He'll have a play in front of the warning track and makes the catch. 1 man out. Right field is deep in this ballpark. Now, the deepest part of the yard is just a shade to the left of straightaway center, where it bends out to 434 feet away. But right center field is as deep as 404. And so left-hand hitters don't always enjoy hitting in this ballpark. And Pridey, flirting with a long ball, stopped at the edge of the track by Stanton for the first out. And here's Reyes, 2 out of 5. Another multi-hit game. First pitch, outside 1-0 a fastball. It's his 45th of the year, the most in the majors. Jose came in still leading the major leagues in hitting at .349. He's raised that back to .350. The 1-0 pulled on the ground to second, right at Infante, and he throws out Reyes, 2 men away. So in the bottom of the 9th, the Marlins will be scheduled to send up Omar Infante, Logan Morrison, and I would imagine Dwayne Wise, because that's all they've got left on their bench among position players. Wise would be the pinch hitter for Hanley Ramirez, or at least for the pitcher Sanchez, who now occupies Ramirez's spot. But you know what? It's so stunning he might just as well be hitting for Ramirez.
Oh, the Mets could really use an insurance run or 5.
You bet. Turner, the batter, right-hand hitter, swings and misses at a fastball, 0-1.
3 runs wasn't enough tonight. 2 runs wasn't enough in the lead, nor was 1 run, but they have that 1-run lead now.
They gave Pelfrey 3 runs before he threw a pitch. Pelfrey gave them all back by the end of the 3rd inning, but the Mets got it right back with 1 in the 4th. The 0-1, sinker inside, 1-1, but the Marlins have kept coming back. Mets took a 4-3 lead. Marlins tied it. Mets took a 5-4 lead. Marlins tied it. Mets scored 2 in the 8th. Break the tie. The Marlins got 1 back. 1-1 to Turner. Swung on and missed. Slider, and the count 1 ball, 2 strikes. So it's the skinniest of leads. One ball, 2 strikes to Turner with 2 out, nobody on here in the top of the 9th inning. Sanchez sets and delivers. Breaking ball in there. Strike 3 called. Side retired. Mets go in order. Middle of the 9th inning. And this was our first perfect inning or half inning of the game. But in the middle of the 9th inning, it's the Mets 7, the Marlins 6 on the WFAN Mets Radio Network.
Let's go Mets.
We go to the 9th inning with the Mets leading the Marlins 7-6. Jason Friday, who pinch hit for Bobby Parnell and flied out, stays in the game in left field, replacing Scott Hairston. And the new pitcher for the Mets is Jason Isringhausen, who will look for his second save of the season. You can help save lives. Please donate blood now. People can't live without it. Brought to you by the New York Blood Center. So, in what has been an excruciating battle, which has to this point taken 3.5 hours, Isringhausen will face Omar Infante, Logan Morrison, and a pinch hitter for Brian Sanchez, with Dwayne Wise the only position player remaining on the bench. Infante, a right-hand batter. First pitch, fastball outside, 1-0. Now the Mets have David Wright even with a bag at third, and he's not far off the line at all. The outfield is tilted just a step and a half towards the right. And the 1-0 pitch. Fastball high and outside, ball 2. So Isringhausen quickly behind Omar Infante. 2 balls and no strikes. When the Mets went out in order in the top of this inning, it was the first perfect half inning of the night. And we're in the 9th. 2-0 pitch right down the middle. A fastball. 2 balls and 1 strike. Isringhausen dangles that right arm. Now brings the hands together. And the 2-1 pitch. Fastball hit high in the air to left center field. Not deep. Pagan, the center fielder, calling. Makes the catch. 1 man out. So Infante flies to center. And now Logan Morrison, and he's dangerous, even though he's not been hitting much lately. 1 for his last 16. He's got some pop. He's got 13 home runs. And so the Mets will play him decidedly as a pull hitter in the outfield. David Wright moves far off the line at third. And he's motioning to the dugout. He's going to move even further off the line. And a step back of the bag. That's it. Infield swings to the right. First pitch. And a fastball of the knees. A called strike. 0-1. Dwayne Wise out on deck as the pinch hitter for Brian Sanchez. But remember, that is Hanley Ramirez's spot. Double switched out of the game. 0-1 to Morrison. Isringhausen deals a curveball, and that missed outside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Izzy has been throwing in the major leagues for so long, you never see him look to the umpire. That's one thing he's very good about. He just stared in to Mike Everett.
Mike Everett's had a skinny strike zone all night. All the pitchers have known that. The 1-1, there's another curveball. That's in for a called strike. 1-2. Did he stare his way into the call? Who knows? But it was a good pitch, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Morrison steps outside the batter's box. And now settles back in. 7-6 New York. 1 out, nobody on. Bottom of the 9th. Isringhausen sets. Here's the pitch. Fastball in there. Strike 3 called. He hit the outside corner. And there are 2 men away, and Dwayne Wise will be the pinch hitter for Brian Sanchez.
Jason Isringhausen is thrilled. The Mets told him that they're not going to trade him. He wants to be here because, quite frankly, he knows this is the only place he can close to get a chance to get those saves. Not for himself necessarily, although he's looking at 300 in his career. He's closing in. But for this Mets ball club, he's thrilled to be here.
He is 6 away, including this game. So here is Dwayne Wise, left-hand batter. First pitch, fastball outside. 1-0 with both corners beginning to move in as Wise had shown bunt. He's had 45 at-bats with 8 hits, a 178 average, no homers, 3 RBIs. 1-0 the count. Isringhausen deals again. He shows bunt, but the fastball in for a called strike, the cutter, and it's 1-1. The on-deck hitter is Gabby Sanchez. Isringhausen wants it over with right here. Sanchez has a home run in this game. Izzy now picks up the pace. Comes set. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Fastball outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. David Wright stays on the edge of the infield grass at third. Murphy is dropped back at first, fairly deep behind the bag, right near the line against the left-hand batter. Drops back even further now. 2-1 pitch. Fastball high, ball 3. Paulino tried to steal it by quickly snapping it into the strike zone, but it's ball 3, strike 1, and Sanchez waiting on deck. Now Izzy sets. Here's the 3-1 pitch. And it's hit in the air to left field pretty deep. Back goes Pridey on the run at the track in front of the wall. Makes the catch. Put it in the books. Jason Pridey with a very nice running catch ends the game. Jason Isringhausen is hugged at the mound by Ronnie Paulino. For Isringhausen, his 295th career save. And the Mets have taken the opener of this 3-game series in sometimes excruciating fashion. In the 9th inning for the Marlins, nothing across. The final score, the New York Mets 7 and the Florida Marlins 6. Back to talk about it in a moment on the WFAN Mets Radio Network. Well, back here in Miami, the Mets have held on to defeat the Florida Marlins 7-6. That's the only way you could describe it, because they built a big lead early, 3 runs before the Marlins even came to the plate against Mike Pelfrey. But as much as the Marlins kept coming back, the Mets kept breaking ties and leaving men on, and it became a rather excruciating night, Wayne.
It really was. But you know what was interesting? With Jack McKeon making all of the moves where he used every one of his bench players, how about the last move made by Terry Collins tonight? Scott Harrison's an okay outfielder. He's done a decent job in the outfield, but he put Jason Pridey in. And I'm not so certain that Harrison makes that catch. I'm not certain that even Jason Bay makes that catch, but I'm certain that Jason Pridey did, and that was a big catch in this ball game to end it.
But there was also another headline to this game, and that was the Mets' third baseman, David Wright, who had 2 for 5, both RBI doubles in his first game since the 15th of May with the New York Mets, and he's standing by to talk about it with Ed Coleman.
Yeah, it's been a long time, over 2 months since we've seen him out there. He's not missing a beat, though. And tonight's on his first game back. And Johan, I guess, will throw that bullpen on Sunday. We hope, anyway.
All right, Eddie, and the best part about that interview was hearing David Wright talk about the fun that he experienced being back here and contributing to a Mets victory. And just for that, we're going to send him to dinner at the Grand Central Oyster Bar, the Grand Slam of Seafood, serving New York's finest and freshest seafood for 98 years in Grand Central Terminal. The Mets get the first one on this 10-game trip, Wayne.
Yes, they do. And by the way, he said it 3 different times. So, yeah, for emphasis, no doubt about it. A great night for David Wright. The Mets get the win 9 times in this game. The leadoff batter reached 14 walks, 7 by each ball club. The Mets leaving 13 on base. They couldn't hold 3 different leads, but ultimately won it 7-6. David Wright with a great return with the 2 RBI doubles and 2 runs scored. Back-to-back doubles by Wright and Daniel Murphy in the top of the 8th, providing the winning margin in the game tonight. Here are the winning totals for the Mets. 7 runs, 12 hits, 1 error, 13 left on base. For the Marlins, 6 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors. They stranded 7. Bobby Parnell gets the win. He's 3-1. Edward Mujica is now 8-3, taking the loss. The save to Jason Isringhausen, his second of the year, number 295 of his career. And the time of game, 3 hours, 34 minutes, 21,304 paid to see it. Once again, the final score tonight, it was the Mets 7, the Marlins 6.
New York Mets Baseball is a production of Sports Radio 66 WFAN in conjunction with the New York Mets. The executive producer is Dove Kramer. The coordinating producer is Vicky Biello. Studio operations by Casey Keefe and Chris McMonigal. And our producer-engineer in the booth is your mortal Chris Machkowski. The next game, Game Time, is brought to you by New York Lottery. Good things happen.